Mom saw I only earned $3,000 a month and still couldn't find a partner, so she arranged a female CEO to be my wife. The CEO is 168 centimeters tall and never comes home. She even gave me a no-limit black card to spend freely, to avoid disturbing her dates with her first love. I very sensibly took the black card and went on a spree at the club. Meanwhile, in a luxurious private room, Su Yanbing's phone rang. She glanced indifferently at the screen, then slowly took a sip of red wine. Lu Jingnian, sitting beside her, looked at her, with eyes full of love and longing. Yanbing, today is your wedding anniversary. You came here. What would Brother Heoming think of me? Su Yanbing replied coldly. There's no need for you to worry about his opinion. Just as she finished, the phone rang again. This time she picked it up and glanced at it. Your account has spent 288,880 yuan. Your account has spent 3 million yuan. In 2 years of marriage, this was my first time using his card. Su Yanbing swiped her finger across the screen, curled her lips slightly, and let out a cold laugh. Lu Jingnian pursed his lips and spoke. Yanbing, maybe you should just go back. Before Su Yanbing could reply, another message popped up. Your account has spent 188,888 yuan. Your account has spent 388,880 yuan. For the first time, I felt the joy of spending without checking the price, of being treated like a god. It was a release. After suppressing my spending for over 20 years, it went out of control, causing Su Yanbing's phone to keep ringing. She no longer looked at it. By the end of dinner, her phone had rung 7 or 8 times. Only after paying the bill did she glance at it. Just as she was putting her phone away, she saw a call from a close friend. Mumu's voice was full of laughter. Sister Yanbing, I just saw your husband come to the club. He booked 7 women in one go. If you don't come now, your head will soon be covered in green grass. Su Yanbing immediately confirmed that Jiu Heoming did go to the club, book 7 women. How is that possible? When Mumu sent her a photo and teased, don't say, your husband dressed up like this today. I almost didn't recognize him. The man in the photo had delicate and handsome features, and wore a black suit jacket, looking very refined. When Mumu kept teasing, can you even recognize that's your husband? Su Yanbing once again felt like she was blind. How could that possibly be Jiu Heoming? At this moment, Lu Jingnian continued, Yanbing, maybe you should just go back. I can go watch the movie alone. Su Yanbing put away the phone and accompanied Lu Jingnian to the movie without reacting. Lu Jingnian posted a moment to commemorate the premiere of his first movie. 20 minutes later, Su Yanbing received a bank spending alert. Jiu Heoming had recharged 1 million yuan at Royal Entertainment Club. She could no longer sit still and left the cinema with a cold expression. Meanwhile, in a private room at the club, I leaned back comfortably on the sofa, sipping red wine that costs tens of thousands per bottle. 7 stunningly shaped and attentively caring girls surrounded me, massaging my shoulders and legs. I couldn't help but close my eyes in comfort. This service was nothing short of heaven on earth. Thinking back not long ago, when I had a monthly salary of 3,000 and died suddenly from binge reading novels, only to wake up inside the book as a character with the same name as mine, a love-crazed hunk. The original character was born into a top-tier wealthy family and spoiled rotten, but insisted on chasing after the heroine Su Yanbing for 5 years. Yet Su Yanbing only had eyes for her first love. In the end, under pressure from both families, Su Yanbing had no choice but to agree to the marriage with me. After the wedding, she rarely came home. And when she did, she treated the original me like furniture. Unable to bear the cold treatment, I began to act out. Eventually, it all led to the family's ruin. A tragic end. It was like playing a winning hand into total disaster. I clicked my tongue and shook my head. In response to the club manager's sales pitch, I acted generous for once. I topped up 1 million using Su Yanbing's card. Su Yanbing pushed open the private room door and saw me touching a woman's thigh. Reluctant to let go, it felt pretty good. How long did you train for this? The girls were all eager to show off their long legs. Brother, I have them too. Do you want to feel mine? Brother, me too. Take a look at hers. Just looking makes my nose bleed. The life of the rich is truly thrilling. Just as I was getting into it, bang, followed by a cold shout. All of you, get out. I didn't expect Su Yanbing to show up and ruin the fun. I reluctantly pinched little white flower's waist. You all go out first. I'll call you when I'm free. Su Yanbing's face was as cold as ice, cold enough to freeze a bull. Very quickly, the room quieted down until only the two of us were left. I leaned on the sofa and sized her up. No wonder the original host fell in love at first sight. That face instantly made all those girls just now look dull in comparison, just by standing there with hands on her hips. She exuded enough charm to make one drool. As I was lost in admiration, I heard Su Yanbing's angry voice. Using my money to cheat on me right here. Jiu Haoming, do you really think I won't do anything about this? Su Yanbing looked at me coldly, fit and aloof. A high-nose bridge, deep features, well-defined jawline. Her unbuttoned collar revealed a sexy Adam's apple. This handsome Jiu Haoming was someone she had never seen before, and he didn't show any panic at getting caught. Compared to the man who was just jealous and irrational 2 hours ago, it was like night and day. I said confidently, "What do you mean your money? We're husband and wife. Isn't your money also mine? Isn't that right? You can spend money having fun with your white moonlight. So, why can't I spend money to find company? I'm not afraid of her at all." The book repeatedly describes Su Yanbin's disgust toward the original host, to the point where even a touch made her sick. In other words, her touching me is basically self-harm. Su Yanbin laughed in anger. "Stop pretending to be innocent. You swiped my card on purpose, caused such a scene. Isn't it just to make me come over?" I looked up at her, gently grabbing her hand. "Then the fact that you left Lu Jinian and came here, doesn't that mean that in your heart I matter more than Lu Jinian?" Su Yanbin's face instantly turned cold. "I told you, don't push your luck with me. This is your last warning. If I ever see you do this again, our marriage will be over." With that, she flung me off in disgust, grabbed a tissue nearby, and wiped her hand, just like in the book. Disgusted by any physical contact with me, I almost burst out laughing. I rubbed my chin and sat back on the sofa. Even sleeping is forbidden. I stopped wanting this marriage ages ago. If you throw over the divorce agreement now, and I refuse to sign it, then I, Jiu Haoming, am nothing but a dog. Su Yanbing paused and looked at me. A small smile slowly spread across her lips. "Divorce? Are you sure? You went through so much trouble to marry her. Just now you looked like you were starving for her." Hearing the word divorce from this man's mouth, what a ridiculous joke. My gaze lingered on her face for a moment, then shifted downward, finally landing on her long legs. "Let me touch you, or give me a divorce." Su Yanbin's face instantly darkened. "Calling your assistant right in front of me. Draft a divorce agreement. Deliver it to the house first thing tomorrow morning." I picked up the wine I hadn't finished it so as not to waste, then put the glass down. Then I stood up. "You made this choice. Don't regret it." Su Yanbing frowned her beautiful brows. Just as she was about to speak, I completely ignored her, turned and walked away. Su Yanbing stood there blankly watching, more convinced I was drunk. That's the only way I'd act so unlike myself and challenge her. Talk about divorce once home, I went straight upstairs to my room. Su Yanbing looked at Jiu Haoming, who didn't even spare her a glance until I disappeared. Only then did she react. She sat down on the sofa. Images of the man who wanted a divorce floated through her mind. She let out a cold laugh. She really wanted to see what he'd look like when the divorce papers landed in front of him tomorrow. With that thought, Su Yanbing got up and walked upstairs. As she passed my bedroom door, she stopped in her tracks. She heard my voice coming from inside. "Today is a good day. All my wishes are coming true. Tomorrow is another great day. Time is too precious to waste." Su Yanbin listened to me drunkenly wailing like a ghost. She crouched down, trying to calm me. When she turned the doorknob, she realized I had locked it. The man who used to scheme every time he got home, just to sleep with me, now found the door locked against him. My singing continued from behind the door. "I believe I am who I am. I believe in tomorrow. I believe in youth without limits." Seeing me so drunk and out of control, Su Yanbing finally turned and left. The room I was staying in was the master bedroom. Because Su Yanbing refused to sleep in the same room with the original host, she chose the guest room instead. Now this room had become the original host alone. I looked around at the spacious, luxurious room, the closet full of designer clothes, and all the pricey luxury watches, singing happily as I looked around. So comfortable. I soaked in the spacious bathtub made for two, then lay down on the big, soft, comfortable bed. It felt like a dream. So beautiful it didn't feel real. The next morning, Su Yanbing got up, She saw there was no breakfast prepared on the table like usual, nor was either watching her eagerly. She glanced at my bedroom door and couldn't help but curl her lips slightly. As expected, this man, after sobering up, must be trying to hide like a turtle in its shell. Thinking about my bold divorce declaration last night, she again smirked. She threw the divorce papers on the coffee table and then headed to the office. I had never slept on such a comfortable bed. So I slept until I naturally woke up. It was already noon. Seeing I was still in the luxurious room, I confirmed once again that I had really entered the book. I once again sorted through the plot. In the book, our marriage lasted less than 3 years, which means in less than a year from now, Su Yanbin would bankrupt my family and leave me penniless. The novel only briefly touched on the business battle. I had no idea what methods Su Yanbin used. But the life of the rich is just as good. No way I'd let my family go bankrupt. I got up, tidied myself, and went downstairs. Seeing the divorce agreement on the coffee table, I picked up the pen and signed it immediately. Even hesitating for 1 second would feel disrespectful to divorce. Then I pulled out Su Yanbin's card from my pocket and placed it on top of the divorce agreement. Then I took the important things that belonged to the original host and returned to the Jiu family. When my mom saw me return, she immediately dropped what she was doing and rushed over. "Hey Omin, why are you home at this hour? Did Su Yanbin kick you out?" I smiled and shook my head. No. Really, no. My mom clearly didn't believe me. Usually at this time, I'd be busy bringing lunch to Su Yanbin. How could I have time for them? My mom stepped forward, grabbed my hand, and said, "Why didn't you call ahead before coming home? I could have had the servants prepare your favorite dishes. Hey, when did you change your hairstyle? It looks great. This outfit looks great too. You look so handsome." My mom's eyes were full of me when she looked at me. As she talked to me, she called Aunt Zhang to cook a few of my favorite dishes. Every gesture showed how happy she was to see her son. "Let me call your dad and have him come home for lunch too." I didn't have time to stop her. Before she had already dialed the number, I took the chance to look around the house. The more I looked, the happier I felt. After she finished the call, she held my arm and kept asking how I was. It was clear that after the original host, married Su Yanbin, my mom had been constantly worried I wasn't happy. "Hey Omin, if something's wrong, you must talk to mom and dad. We will always be your support." Looking at the woman, so beautiful and warm standing before me, I couldn't help but think of her tragic ending in the book. I couldn't stop myself from hugging her. In my heart, I made a firm decision to change her fate. My mom's body stiffened slightly. How long had it been since her son hugged her like this? "Mom, I'm sorry. These past few years, I've made you worry. It won't happen again." Hearing my words, my mom's eyes immediately turned red. Ever since I got married, I rarely came home. And even when I did, it was always because of Su Yanbin. Back then, she said a forced melon isn't sweet, but I insisted on marrying her. I was their only son. They had always held me in their hearts. When I insisted on marrying Su Yanbin, they gave in to me. After the wedding, seeing me unhappy, watching my pride and light fade bit by bit, fade away, it was like my entire world revolved around Su Yanbin. They began to realize something was wrong. As my mother, she saw it all and felt the pain deeply. I heard the choke in her voice. I saw tears well up in her red eyes. I reached up to wipe her tears away. Smiling at her, I said, "Mom, see, I'm doing just fine now." My mom looked at her son and felt like I had changed a lot this time. Like I'd gone back to the way I was long ago. Just as lunch was ready, my dad came home too. He even brought Warner with him. Warner was the daughter of my dad's good friend. She was 3 years older than the original host. After losing both parents, she lived with her grandmother. But it was hard for the elderly to raise her, so the Jiu family took her in and cared for her like a daughter. They supported her in life and education, all the way until she graduated college. During college, she worked part-time at Jiu Group. After graduation, she became a senior executive at the company. I glanced at her secretly and met her gaze as she looked at me. In the novel, the original host always saw her as an older sister. When I was pursuing Su Yanbin, I often told her how much I liked Su Yanbin and asked her for advice and ideas. What she showed the original host was always the image of an older sister. She doted on me, protected me, helped me, but never crossed the line. Even readers never suspected a thing until they found out Su Yanbin and I got divorced. Warner went to find me. She saw me at the scene of a car crash. She picked me up, trembling, and saw me covered in blood. Her eyes instantly turned red. She kept wiping the blood from the corner of my mouth. Her voice dull as she said, "Hey, Omin. I regret it. I regret not stopping you back then." The deep emotion in her eyes was impossible to erase. In that moment, she didn't want to hide anymore. She wanted me to know that she had liked me for many years. She desperately wanted to keep me, but no matter what she did, she couldn't. All she could do was watch as my life slowly slipped away before her eyes. It was at that moment that I felt both love and hate toward her. Just then, my mom greeted her with a smile. "Warner, you're here too." I also greeted her with a hello. Warnerji looked at me with a touch of fondness in her voice. "Aren't you usually busy bringing him lunch every day? How come you're willing to come home at noon today?" I smiled and shook my head. "It's so hot these days. He said it's too tiring for me to bring him lunch, so he told me not to." As soon as I said that, not only Warner, but even my parents turned to look at me. Their expressions clearly showed doubt, as expected. Those who care about me the most don't believe Su Yanbin would be kind to me. To change the subject, I turned to Warner. "Warner, how's the company doing recently?" Hearing that, Warner glanced at me. "We've been taking on several big projects lately. If we can secure them, the company will reach a new level." I looked at her in confusion. Taking on several big projects. What if cash flow doesn't keep up? What if the capital chain breaks and the Su family just sits back and watches? Warner gave a small smile. "We can handle a few big projects. The company can manage it." I shook my head and looked at her seriously. "I think the current market situation isn't great. The most important thing for the company is stability. We must ensure there's enough cash flow to handle potential risks the company might face." I couldn't say too much, so I had to hint at it indirectly. Warner looked at me, a trace of scrutiny appearing in her gaze. "Hey, Omin, since when did you start taking an interest in the company?" I realized it. The original host never cared about company matters. I touched my chin and glanced at Warner, but still couldn't help reminding her again. "You and my dad really need to consider the projects carefully. Especially consider the potential risks they may bring. Can the company really handle it?" Warner stared at me, trying to read something from my expression. "Did you perhaps hear something from Su Yanbin? They want us to give up the competition and hand the project back to its original owner just for romance. The family used to help the Su family a lot. Now suddenly stopping them from taking the project. It's normal for Warner to think that way." I shook my head and said no. "I've just been having the same dream lately. Dreaming that our family company went bankrupt. So I'm really worried," and kept quiet. But obviously something's wrong. I hesitated a lot, then glanced at my parents in the distance. I leaned closer to her and raised my hand to cover my mouth. Actually, I overheard Su Yanbin talking about wanting to bring down the Gu family. After saying that, I stepped back. Then I saw Guer's ears turn red. I didn't expect that to actually flirt with her. Awkwardly pretended I didn't notice. Lowered my voice to explain that I was afraid my parents couldn't handle it. So I didn't dare to tell them about the company. "I don't understand this stuff, so I can only rely on you." Guer leaned back against the sofa, casually rubbing her ear as he looked at me. "So, hey Omin, what about you? What are you planning?" Before I could answer, my mom came over and called us to eat. I looked at the table full of delicious dishes. Instantly felt great. My mom served me some food, telling me to eat more. She said I've lost weight recently. Looking at the table full of goodies, I swallowed my saliva. I haven't had homemade food in so long. That's why I lost weight from hunger. "Just let me stay home for a few days. I'll definitely gain it back." My mom heard me say that. She kept putting more food on my plate. "If you want homemade food, Mom will have someone bring it to you every day from now on." I waved my hand and said no need. "Mom, I'll just live at home from now on." For a moment, my parents and Guer all stopped what they were doing and looked at me. I also paused, then looked at them seriously and said, "Mom, Dad, Warner, I'm planning to divorce Su Yanbin. I used to think that as long as I worked hard, I thought I could make her love me. But now I know. You can't force love. I don't want to love her anymore. Now I just want to come back and be with you all." I said it so freely, without sadness or reluctance. But the original owner's feelings for Su Yanbin were deeply rooted in the Gu family's mind. My parents looked at me. They didn't believe I could let go just like that. "Why aren't you saying anything? Are you looking down on me? Thinking I came back to mooch off you?" When I said that, my mom reacted and beamed. "How could we? You coming back to stay with me makes me happier than anything." My dad picked up his phone and transferred another 10 million to my account. "Come back whenever you want. This family can support you for 10 lifetimes. Looking at my parents in front of me, I was a little moved. In the novel, After the Mu family went bankrupt, my dad couldn't bear the shock of his daughter-in-law being the mastermind. High blood pressure led to a brain hemorrhage. He fell into a coma and became a vegetable. My mom couldn't take the double blow. She fell into depression and eventually committed suicide. I want to change all that. Want to protect them too. Just as I was about to put down my chopsticks, a faint voice suddenly spoke up. What about me? Gur didn't know when she had started staring at me. Her face showed a bit of jealousy, like competing for my parents' affection. I glanced at her and added another piece of meat to her bowl. Meanwhile, at the Su group, a junior assistant entered the CEO's office with some documents. President Su, she's not coming to bring you lunch today. Su Yanbing glanced at the time. Normally by now, she would have already brought me lunch. So afraid of me divorcing her, she doesn't even dare bring me food anymore. She gave the assistant a cold sideways glance. What? Are you addicted to the food now? Want me to call and ask her for you? The assistant quickly shook her head. No need. I was just saying it casually. Actually, every time the food was delivered, it ended up in her stomach. After eating it for so long, she got used to it. In the end, the assistant was too curious and couldn't resist asking, Sir, this is the first time she didn't bring lunch. Seeing President Su displeased, she quickly picked up the signed documents and left. Su Yanbing, for once, had a day without my interruption. After finishing work, she recalled Jiu Haoming in a suit from last night, with eyes that clearly wanted a divorce. Su Yanbing curled her lips and went straight to the bar. As soon as she entered the private room, everyone inside turned to look at her. She sat down on the sofa, noticing they were still staring at her. Her face darkened. What are you all staring at me for? Got a problem? Her best friend Wen Mumu walked over and asked tentatively, Jiu Haoming didn't follow you? Su Yanbing shot them a sharp glance. Weren't you the ones who hated him following me? Now that he's not here, isn't that perfect? Don't be pathetic. Lin Xinyao, seeing the mood, poured Su Yanbing a drink. We're just worried about you, afraid that he doesn't cherish you anymore, and you're back together again. As Su Yanbing's close friends, they knew better than anyone else wherever she was, Jiu Haoming would follow. He would never go to a club for escorts, let alone leave Su Yanbing alone and go to Sanya for vacation. Su Yanbing's whole face turned cold. If your eyes are useless, you might as well donate them. When Mumu laughed, hey, as long as you don't care about him, it's fine. Come on, let's all drink. A toast to Yanbing. Finally escaping misery at least for now. Su Yanbing raised her glass and drank, not paying attention to what they were saying, until after a few more drinks. Lin Xinyao picked up her phone and said, YANBING-G. Even though Jiu Haoming forced the marriage and hurt your dignity back then, with his looks and family background, he's more than worthy of you. How did you manage to not let him touch you for 2 years? Back when I only had eyes for Su Yanbing, I had the WeChat of every one of her friends, so they all saw my moments. My moments used to be all about Su Yanbing, either showing off our love or writing little essays about how much I loved her, because I knew Su Yanbing had blocked my moments whenever I posted those essays. My besties would often forward them in our group to annoy her, but just 2 hours ago, they discovered I had deleted everything in my moments that had anything to do with Su Yanbing. Then I posted a moment about arriving in Sanya, and now I posted a beautiful photo of me wearing beach shorts, watching the sunset by the sea in Haikeng. It was a 9-photo grid with the caption, seeing the most beautiful scenery with the person who loves me most. Su Yanbing saw everyone looking at their phones, so she glanced over as well. It was a photo of me smiling happily by the sea. Chen Xiu stared at her phone and said, feels like Jiu Haoming has really changed. When Mumu nodded, he actually looks quite handsome like this. Lin Xinyao smiled. That's probably what it looks like when you stop loving someone. With a loud bang, Su Yanbing slammed her glass on the floor, her beautiful face ice cold. Su Yanbing looked at them with frosty eyes. Are you all insane? We came out to drink, and you're all glued to your phones talking about Jiu Haoming. After saying that, Su Yanbing stormed out. When Mumu looked confused, didn't he say he didn't care? Why is Su Yanbing so angry? Chen Xiu laughed a little. Could it be that she's fallen for Jiu Haoming? Lin Xinyao squinted and said, whether she likes Jiu Haoming or not, I know I'm starting to like her a bit. When Mumu and Chen Xiu both looked at her, you're joking, right? Su Yanbing sat in the car, took out her phone and opened WeChat, scrolled through my moments, and looked at what I had posted in my WeChat feed. Only then did she realize I had gone to Haikeng for a vacation. The photos were filled with smiles that reached my eyes. There was light spilling out from within, whether it was the side profile with my head raised or facing the camera directly. Every move showed genuine happiness. My eyes seemed to hold all the beauty in the world. But that was Ji Haeoming, the one whose eyes used to show either love for her or resentment toward others. An unreasonable spoiled child of a rich family. A person doesn't change overnight. Su Yanbing didn't believe it. The me in those photos was the real me. Others might not know, but she knew clearly in her heart. Ji Haeoming was avoiding the divorce conversation. Posting those photos in moments was just to please him. But even knowing my intention, she was still drawn back by those unusually simple photos. Meanwhile, I was enjoying my first vacation ever. In Haikeng, it was the place I'd wanted to visit most while I was alive. A gentle breeze, a seafood feast enjoyed by the sea. The seaside night view gave me only one feeling. The world is so beautiful. In my past life, I never had enough money. I never had the chance to experience this kind of life. Nor did I have anything worth recording as beautiful. But now, I feel like there are so many beautiful moments worth recording, like delicious food, beautiful scenery, and the love of family. The next morning, I wanted to go diving, so my mom spent money to hire me a private female coach to take me diving. I enjoyed wading through coral reefs and swimming with schools of fish. It was relaxing and joyful. Meanwhile, at the president's office of Su Group, Su Yanbing, amidst her busy schedule, received a call from her mother. Yanbing, my daughter, why did Ji Haeoming go on vacation with another woman? Did you two have a fight? Su Yanbing frowned and said, no. Su's mother said sternly, if nothing happened, why would he be so intimate with another woman? And even post it deliberately on Moments. Su Yanbing found my Moments and saw that I had just shared a diving video a few minutes ago. I even captioned it, first time diving. A joy that words can't describe. In the video, there was a woman who occasionally held onto my arm and helped support me. Their behavior looked quite close because of the diving gear. Her face was unclear, but her figure was clearly excellent. In the comments, mutual classmates and friends left replies. Public displays of affection die fast. I don't want to eat this dog food. They look so good together. Who's jealous? I'm not talking about co-workers or classmates. When Mumu saw everyone mistaking the guy for Su Yanbing and tagged her in the besties group chat, Xing Xiyu laughed. They're getting divorced. But there's still a 30-day cooling off period. Ji Haeoming seems a bit too eager. Lin Xinyao nodded. Well, you can't really blame him, he's young and impulsive. Who could stand it? Their reply was met with a system notification. Su Yanbing has left the group. None of you have any sense. Su Yanbing was very confident in her heart. There's no way Ji Haeoming would really want a divorce. His moments were always posted for him to see. Since yesterday until now, Ji Haeoming hadn't contacted her, but had been updating Moments constantly. So many updates clearly meant they were for him. Posting this diving video was the same as ordering female models at the club last time, just a tactic to get her attention, trying to make her anxious. So she'd go to him and offer a way out. Su Yanbing sneered coldly. Ji Haeoming really overestimates himself. Him not coming to bother me is exactly what I wanted. Su Yanbing tossed the phone aside and continued working. Back to handling business. But Ji Haeoming's drastic change kept flashing through her mind from time to time, which made her increasingly irritable and restless. She called in her assistant and filled her schedule to the brim. In the evening, she took Lu Jinian to attend the Bai family heiress's birthday party. Soon, the news of Su Yanbing and Lu Jinian attending the banquet was trending on the hot search list. Su Yanbing often brought Lu Jinian to evening banquets, but Su Yanbing and Ji Haeoming's grand, live-streamed wedding that went viral online still left a deep impression on everyone, and neither the media nor reporters dared to offend them. No one would risk gossiping about their private lives, but every time Ji Haeoming saw the hot search, he thought Lu Jinian was trying to seduce Su Yanbing and would go confront him, warn him, or even hit him. Su Yanbing returned to the hotel and saw the trending news. Her mind kept switching between Ji Haeoming's crazy outburst and the joy of that vacation. she unexpectedly felt a slight sense of anticipation. She took a shower and went to bed. Meanwhile, I went diving in the morning and surfing in the afternoon. It was pure joy. After showering that night, I lay down, picked up my phone, and saw that the original owner's informant had sent me the trending news about Su Yanbing and Lu Jinian. I glanced at it. Same frame, no scandal. I was getting anxious for them. I was just about to reply that I no longer wanted to know anything about Su Yanbing when Gur video called me. Having fun? I nodded. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Gur had just showered too. She was still towel drying her hair, fresh out of the shower. Her gaze carried a hint of allure. Her skin looked especially clear and radiant. Her lips were moist and slightly flushed. I nearly lost control of my desires, almost couldn't hold back my lust. The orphan looked at me and said she wanted to go too, even if she couldn't beat me. I glanced at her. Just focus on your job. I wasn't joking about what I said last time. Su, she will really turn against the company. You have to prepare in advance. The whole company is counting on you. Jiwa paused what she was doing with her hands. She stared straight at me. Aren't you afraid I, like Su Yanbing, also have my eyes on the company? I smiled and shook my head. No. I trust you. The orphan looked at me with a warm gaze. I didn't expect even that line would make her blush. I had to end the conversation quickly. Alright, it's getting late. I'm going to sleep. You should sleep early too, Jiu Warner said expectantly. Don't forget to bring me a gift. Lying in bed, thinking about how Boer had secretly loved the original me for years, I decided to fulfill this little request of his. The next day, Su Yanbing woke up and checked her phone. The trending topic was still there, but surprisingly, Jiu Haoming hadn't contacted her, nor had anyone from the recording team. She couldn't help but open my moments again. She saw I had just posted a new update 5 minutes ago. It was a video of me riding a rental electric scooter at a scenic spot, taking my mom on a tour. In the video, my handsome face looked like the embodiment of joy. Even the beautiful scenery paled in comparison. Su Yanbing was dumbfounded. Jiu Haoming hadn't come back. He was still traveling. He even had time to post on Moments. There was no way he hadn't seen the trending news. But not only did he not return, he looked even happier. Su Yanbing laughed in anger. She threw the phone aside. This time, she really bled. She wanted to see how long I could hold out. Su Yanbing had a jam-packed schedule that day. That night, when she returned to the hotel, she collapsed onto the sofa, exhausted. Under the warm lights, images of me riding the scooter happily flashed through her mind. She pulled out her phone to check my Moments again. She saw that I had updated my Moments again a few hours ago. The caption read, "The best person in the world is Mom." In the 9-square photo grid, it was either me eating all kinds of local snacks or showing off some little trinkets I had bought. The center photo was one of me and my mom together. In the comments, my dad left a message, "So Dad's not the best?" I quickly replied, "Dad is great too." Jiu Warner also joined the fun when she saw that. "You're so biased, Haoming. I'm not good enough." I was a bit helpless. Sister Warner is great, the best in the whole world. Meanwhile, Su Yanbing had been feeling suffocated these past few days. 3 days, 3 whole days, I hadn't contacted her. Not a word from me, yet he looked happier with each passing day. Seeing how happy I was, Su Yanbing felt uncomfortable inside. It was like she had swallowed a dead fly. At that moment, her phone rang. I had sent her a message. The suffocating feeling in her chest suddenly vanished. This man could finally hold it in no longer. For the first time, with a hint of anticipation, she opened our chat window. But my words were cold. "It's been days since we signed the divorce agreement. Isn't it about time we finalized the paperwork?" Su Yanbing stared at that line of text. Her beautiful eyes trembled. Her grip on the phone tightened again and again. After a long while, she got up, left, and drove home. That home, where the lights were always on, no matter when she came back, was now pitch dark. Only the street lamp outside was quietly doing its duty. She turned on the lights in the living room and walked in. The house was empty. There was no one waiting for her to come home. On the coffee table sat the divorce agreement and her bank card. She picked up the divorce papers and opened them. There was a handwritten signature, Jiu Haoming. It was strikingly bold. The paper crumpled slightly in her grip. There was a storm of emotion swirling in her eyes. Jiu Haoming, just a few days ago. The man who was still jealous over her a few days ago was actually going to divorce her. How was that possible? Su Yanbin scoffed in disbelief. Meanwhile, at the GU residence, my mom was taking out local specialties from a large bag. She distributed them to the house staff. These are things Haomin said were delicious. She brought some back for you all to try. Everyone happily thanked her as they received the gifts. The joy of sharing filled the house. My dad was drinking post-meal tea. The orphan was taking a work call. Though the house was big, it wasn't empty or cold. It was warm and lovely. I held my phone, looking at Su. Yamin still hadn't replied. I thought I'd call her in a bit. Jiua sat next to me and asked, "Where's my gift?" I looked up and met her clear eyes. There was a hint of anticipation in them. With those beauty filters in effect, it was hard not to be biased toward her. I got up and opened my suitcase, taking out 2 small night lights. One was made of bone, and the other was made of seashells. Which one do you want? The orphan looked at both. Who's the other one for? I didn't expose her little thoughts. It's for myself. Jiua smiled sweetly. She picked up the Drum Tower night light and examined it again and again. My mom finished giving out gifts. When she saw the night light in my hand, she casually said that one was handmade by Haomin himself. When Jiua heard that, she immediately looked up at me. The surprise and joy in her eyes could hardly be hidden. You made it. The original me had only ever handmade things for Su Yanbing. She had secretly loved me for years. This was the first time she received something I had made myself. Her joy was easy to imagine. I shot her a cold glance. What? You don't like it? If you don't want it, give it back. Jiu-Waner immediately shook her head. I love it. After saying that, she just looked at me. I could feel the deep, restrained affection in her gaze. It almost made me unable to resist the charm she radiated. I stood up holding my phone. I'm tired. I'm going back to my room to rest. Back in my room, I turned on my phone and saw that Su Yanbin had replied to my message. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau. In the book, Su Yanbin bankrupted the Jiu family and forced me to divorce and leave with nothing. But now we're getting divorced early. Does this mean the Jiu family's bankruptcy ending can be avoided? I was in a great mood, afraid I'd oversleep. I even set an alarm. The next day, I woke up before the alarm even went off, thinking I was about to regain my freedom. I made an effort to dress up. Going downstairs, my dad had already finished breakfast and gone to work. My mom was trimming flowers she had picked from the back garden. When she saw me, she called me over for breakfast. I was in a hurry, so I made an excuse and left quickly, planning to surprise them after the divorce. The original me could drive, had a license, but I couldn't. I only knew how to ride a scooter. Before transmigrating into the book, I was poor, so I never even learned to drive. The ride I ordered dropped me at the Civil Affairs Bureau. At 8:50, I took out my phone and called Su Yanbin. I'm at the Civil Affairs Bureau. When will you arrive? She replied with just 2 words, on my way. I stood in the shade waiting until 9:30, cursing her ancestors all 18 generations. Only then did I see Su Yanbin's car approaching. I couldn't wait and rushed up to it. Su Yanbin looked at me through the car window. Why did it seem like this man was getting more handsome? I walked towards Su Yanbin in the sunlight, my whole body glowing like light. Everything around me faded in comparison. I stopped in front of the car and knocked on the window. Only then did Su Yanbin remove her face mask, open the car door, and step out. Our eyes met. There was no trace of her in mine, not even the slightest hint of sorrow, only a cheerful smile with a hint of unfamiliarity. It wasn't what she had expected. I merely gave her a calm glance. Let's go. After saying that, I turned and walked toward the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. My steps were light, full of eagerness and anticipation. It was at this moment that Su Yanbin realized I truly wanted a divorce. She stared at my back, and a memory of the forced marriage flashed in her mind. Though it had been more than 2 years, it was still vivid like it happened yesterday. Being forced to marry me had always been a disgrace to her. From the moment we got married, she had been waiting for the day to redeem her pride. That day never came, and I already wanted a divorce. I walked a few steps, then noticed she was still standing there. I sighed, turned back, and asked, "What's wrong?" She stayed silent, and I suddenly had a bad feeling. Don't tell me you forgot your documents. You came to get divorced without bringing your documents? I tried to stay calm, then hurry up and ask someone to bring them to you. Su Yanbin kept her face cold, just looking at me without saying a word. I was speechless. Call someone then. Why are you just staring at me? Only then did Su Yanmin finally move, glancing indifferently at the time. She finally opened her mouth. I have a meeting at 10. Let's talk about the divorce later. Her words stunned me. Frowning, I replied, we're already here. Why make another trip? Just postpone the meeting. It won't take long to get the paperwork done first. It wasn't easy for us to meet. There are too many variables next time. I don't want to wait. The reason I said that was because I recalled that Su Yanmin often postponed meetings for Lu Jinian. So the meeting clearly wasn't that important. But just as I finished speaking, Su Yanmin looked at me and her face changed. It was as if I had committed an unforgivable crime. Even colder than an ice cold Jiu Haoming. Do you really think your matters are always the most important? The lives of thousands of employees aren't as important as your divorce? You're thinking too highly of yourself. I was stunned for 2 seconds by her outburst. This hypocrite. It was fine when Lu Jinian made her postpone meetings, but when I ask her to delay one, suddenly it affects everyone's livelihood. And isn't the divorce also her business? Not just mine? Su Yanmin didn't even give me a chance to respond. She left right after the scolding. We were supposed to get divorced, but she arrived late and without documents. Clearly, I'm the one who should be angry. But she slammed the car door and left with a dark face. I was so mad I wanted to curse. I had even written a celebratory post about being single. I had even planned where to party that night. And now we didn't even get divorced. I went to the supermarket and bought a ton of snacks. Then went to Story Group. When Su Yanbin returned from her meeting, she saw I was sitting on her office couch playing games, with a spicy strip in my mouth. The whole office smelled like spicy snacks. The coffee table was piled with snacks, things I normally would never eat. Su Yanmin frowned in disgust. What are you doing here? Still chewing the spicy strip, staring at my phone. I didn't even lift my head. Waiting for you. Su Yanmin paused mid-step, glanced at me, then walked to her chair and sat down. She looked at me and asked, waiting for what? To eat junk food? To play games? You've completely abandoned your polished rich boy image. This version of Jiu Haoming felt far too unfamiliar. Only then did I pause my game, look up at her, and said, we didn't finish the divorce this morning. I know you're busy, so I figured I'd wait here until you're done, and we can go again. Su Yanbin stared at me coldly. I don't have time for the rest of today. I glanced at her again. Skeptical, I asked, then when will you be free? Su Yanbin picked up the documents next to her. I'll contact you when I'm free. I felt like she was backing out. If she really wanted a divorce, how could she not find time? But why would she back out? She hated the original me so much. Wouldn't divorce be a relief? Or did she still want to torment me? Though the book's heroine didn't say it. Her attitude toward the original me clearly showed resentment over being forced into marriage. The more I wanted her love, the more she made me suffer the pain of unattainable affection. Now that I want a divorce, is she trying to make me experience the pain of wanting to leave but being unable to? I stood up in anger. Su Yanbin, do you not want a divorce? I'll give you 3 days. If you don't go finalize the divorce with me in 3 days, then I'll file for divorce in court. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm informing you. After saying that, I grabbed my snacks and was about to leave. Right then, Lu Jinian pushed open the office door and walked in. When he saw me, a trace of fear flashed in his eyes. Did I come at the wrong time? Lu Jinian was just about to step back out, but Su Yanmin raised her hand and said, no, you're right on time. Lu Jinian is the male lead in the novel, a character with a tragic family background. His father was a gambling addict, his mother in poor health. In high school, his father couldn't repay his loan sharks. He had to work part-time from a young age. Su Yanmin saved him and brought him into her company. She helped him become a wildly popular celebrity. As the novel's male lead, he's kind, hardworking, with strong morals. From the moment Su Yanbin helped him, he fell in love with her. But he always felt unworthy of Su Yanbin and never dared to confess. He wanted to become better, to be worthy of her. After Su Yanbin was forced into marriage, even though Lu Jinian secretly loved Su Yanbin, he still stuck to his principle of not being a homewrecker. He kept his distance and remained just friends. The novel mainly focuses on the male lead and the original characters' perspectives. The female lead's love for the male lead is mostly shown through plot events. From what I've read, no confession has happened yet, so their mutual but silent affection for each other earn endless sympathy and anticipation from the readers. While the original me the malicious antagonist, was constantly being pushed to her downfall. At this moment, I was about to leave. I glanced at Su Yanbin, then at Lu Jinian again. I left quickly, with a sincere smile. You to go ahead and talk. I won't interrupt. As I passed Lu Jinian, I clearly felt him flinch and shrink away. I couldn't really blame him. The original me had always treated him as a mistress ruining my marriage. Every time I saw him, I tried to teach him a lesson. I even hired people to rough him up more than once. Now, to redeem myself, I even gently closed the office door behind me as I left. Lu Jinian stared in a daze as I walked away, then looked at Su Yanbin. He saw her staring at the closed door, her face cold as ice. When Lu Jinian stepped forward holding the local specialties, he saw that Su Yanbin had scribbled all over the documents in her hand. The paper was filled with meaningless doodles. Su Yanbin looked away, raised her eyes and asked, "Why are you here?" Lu Jinian smiled and placed the bag on the table. "Some local specialties from Jiangshang. I thought they were pretty good, so I brought some for you. Thanks for helping find a doctor for my mom." After he finished speaking, he looked at her with restrained affection. "Are you really divorcing Brother Heoming?" Meanwhile, I walked out with my snacks and ran into the assistant holding papers to get Su Yanbin's signature. I stretched out my arm to block her. "Your President Jiu is busy with something very important right now. As for those documents, wait until Lu Jinian comes out before taking them in." The assistant looked at the office door, then back at me, completely stunned. "Lu Jinian is inside. President Jiu actually didn't kick him out, and they're still inside." I pulled out my phone. "Really?" The assistant saw the ear zero held up in front of him. Being a foodie, she couldn't resist the temptation. She grabbed the pack of pickled chicken feet. "Thank you, Mr. Jiu." I chuckled and said, "Learn to read the room next time. In the future, when Lu Jinian comes looking for Su Yanbin, don't go in and disturb them." The assistant nodded without saying a word. I dropped that line and left. By helping them, I'm helping myself. It would be best if they couldn't hold back their desire to be together. Then Su Yanbin would quickly finalize the divorce with me. After all, filing for divorce still requires evidence of a broken marriage. That sounds like a hassle. The assistant munched on the pickled chicken feet and waited for Lu Jinian to come out. She then went in with the documents. She couldn't help but comment, "Do you know what Mr. Jiu just said to me?" Su Yanbin glanced at her. The assistant continued, "He said I could only enter once Lu Jinian came out, and he also said that in the future, if Lu Jinian comes to see you, I should never come in to disturb you." Su Yanbin threw a file at the assistant. "Who pays your salary, me or him?" The assistant caught the file. "Don't you think Mr. Jiu has changed? He doesn't seem jealous anymore. He even seems to be pushing you and Lu Jinian together." Su Yanbin curled her lips into a saintly smile. "Are you too idle lately?" The assistant immediately shut her mouth. She took the signed documents and fled. Su Yanbin threw the pen onto the desk. The smile on her lips gradually faded. Her gaze slowly darkened. I walked out of Su Yanbin's company. It was almost noon when I checked the time. I caught a cab home to have lunch with my mom. Then I searched online for a nearby driving school and called to ask about lessons. After all, there are so many sports cars in the garage, and I can only look at them, not drive them. It's honestly too painful. The original owner had a license. I just need to learn how to drive. The driving school had a dedicated training ground, which was perfect. After making a call to schedule, I took a car to the school. Following the principle that money makes things happen. For a license, the owner found a super patient and pretty female instructor. She taught me one-on-one. I have to admit, you get what you pay for. I felt incredibly clumsy. But after a whole afternoon, the beautiful instructor never lost her temper. She kept encouraging me, providing emotional support that was a perfect 10. After spending the whole afternoon, I finally learned the basics. To thank the instructor, I treated her to a meal afterward. Meanwhile, as Su Yanbin walked out of the company, she saw a message from Wenmumu. "Yanbin, we were wrong last time. We didn't consider your feelings. Tonight, we'll host a dinner for you." 20 minutes later, Su Yanbin walked into the restaurant Wenmumu had reserved. She immediately spotted a familiar figure. The man was laughing joyfully. Su Yanbin walked over slowly. Then she heard me openly praising the woman. "Coach Shen, with your looks and your figure, You've got it all. Why settle for being a driving instructor? Shen laughed and explained she wasn't really an instructor. Turns out she was the driving school owner's daughter, forced by her dad to teach me because she was too talented to waste. I couldn't help but laugh. As I laughed, I suddenly felt a cold stare. I instinctively looked up and saw Su Yanbing standing to the side. Her face as cold as ice. Before I could say anything, Su Yanbing grabbed my hand and dragged me out of the restaurant. Jiu Haoming, we haven't even divorced yet, and you're already out with some floozy? I looked at the woman standing right in front of me. What a waste of such a beautiful face. How can someone have such a bad temper? I rubbed my wrist. What floozy? It was just a normal dinner with someone. Don't talk nonsense. Su Yanbing gave me a cold stare. A normal meal. Do you think I'm blind? I didn't want to look at her face, so I looked up at the sky. If you think you're blind, then there's nothing I can do. Su Yanbing sneered at Jiu Haoming. Do you think this is still 2 years ago, when I had to endure everything you did? From now on, I call the shots between us. Seeing her recklessly touch me, I leaned in with a smile, raised my hand and touched her slender waist, bold and unrestrained. Then why don't you tell me what you want? Su Yanbing gulped nervously, her face dark as she grabbed my wrist. Knowing how much Su Yanbing hated being touched by the original me, every touch I made only increased her disgust for me. Seeing her face darken, I raised my other hand and held her hand too, continuing to gross her out. Why don't we find a hotel? Summer clothes are already thin, and Su Yanbing was wearing a dress. When I touched her leg, it felt like I brushed against her chest, a tickling sensation like ants crawling on my heart. Su Yanbing, blushing, stared straight at me. The old me would never dare to be so bold, and wouldn't have been this flirtatious either. Clearly not in love with her, yet acting like I couldn't get enough of her. It was like treating her as some bar hostess. Su Yanbing swallowed again, her face growing even colder. Seeing that she still didn't push me away in disgust, I leaned in to kiss her. Only then did Su Yanbing finally shove me away. She pulled out a handkerchief to wipe her hand. Jiu Haoming, give up your delusions. You will never get what you want from me. I suddenly realized, she doesn't want a divorce because I want one. I rubbed my wrist and sneered, isn't it possible that, if I can't get it from you, I can get it from another woman? Even though I cling to your body, a woman is a woman. They're all the same once the lights are off. It's not like I must have you. Su Yanbing's face turned as dark as if soaked in ink. She clenched her back teeth. She threw away the handkerchief and sneered in anger. Go ahead and try then. I smiled at her and said, wasn't I just about to? Before you interrupted. You interrupted me. If you've got nothing else to say, I'll head back inside. My phone is still in the restaurant. Seeing that Su Yanbing didn't stop me, I went back inside, but just as I sat down, my phone rang. I picked it up and looked. Su Yanbing had sent me a video. I opened it, and my face instantly turned pale. The video showed the original me hiring people to kidnap Lu Jinian. Evidence from years ago. It showed me pushing them into the street and causing a car accident. It also showed me hiring people to beat Lu Jinian. Criminal evidence. That evidence alone could get me several years in prison. Previously, Su Yanbing didn't use it because she feared the Jiu family. Now that she's brought it out, it means she no longer fears them. I had only just started enjoying my life. I didn't come to this world to end up in jail. Su Yanbing sent another message. You have 2 minutes. Come upstairs now. Su Yanbing was using this to threaten me. Though I was reluctant, I didn't want to go to jail even more. Shen, seeing my pale face, poured me a glass of water. What's wrong? I waved my hand. Sorry, something came up. I have to go. You enjoy your meal. After that, I quickly paid the bill and went upstairs to find Su Yanbing in the private room. When Mumu came into the room, she had just seen the scene between Su Yanbing and me by the car. So she snapped a photo and sent it to the private room to share with her girlfriends. From her angle, the photo looked as if Su Yanbing had already taken full control of the room and was being intimate with me. Then everyone came to the window to look and saw me walk away without even looking back. They were more convinced that Su Yanbing had forced me. When Mumu said with some surprise, no one mentioned Jiu Haoming tonight. As soon as Su Yanbing entered the private room, when Mumu immediately went up to greet her. Everyone was chatting and laughing. No one mentioned anything about me. When I opened the door and came in, the three of them were momentarily stunned. When Mumu reacted quickly and hurriedly stood up and stepped aside, Su Yanbing, the place beside him was set with new utensils for the newcomer. Heilmin is here. I smiled and raised my hand to greet them. Glanced at Su Yanbing, then walked toward her. The three of them looked at me, then at Su Yanbing, and treated me like I was invisible, just like always. I clenched my teeth and used my chopsticks to pierce the plastic wrap over the bowl. Then leaned a little closer to Su Yanbing and whispered, "What do you mean by this?" Su Yanbing gave a slight smirk. "Just want you to be more obedient." I was completely turned off. Does this woman have no hobbies other than torturing me? I forced a smile and picked up food for her. "All right, my dear wife. If you tell me to go east, I won't go west. If you tell me to warm the bed, I wouldn't dare warm the room instead." Su Yanbing gave me a glance and set down her empty wine glass. I immediately refilled it for her. After practicing driving all afternoon, I was actually quite hungry too. Seeing that Su Yanbing said nothing, I just started eating by myself with great appetite. After finishing a bowl of rice, I noticed everyone was staring at me, so I got another bowl. Gave them a big smile and said, "Do you want some? I'll help you get some too." "I'll get some for you too." The three girlfriends were even more surprised. Jiu Heilmin, who always had eyes only for Su Yanbing, was actually offering to get them food. The next second, Su Yanbing finally spoke. "If you like helping so much, peel this bowl of shrimp for me. I love eating them." I was so angry my fist clenched again. Damn it, I don't even feel like peeling them for myself. I smiled and sat down, looking at her. "Okay, dear wife." I picked up the bowl of shrimp, peeling while thinking of a way to break free. I really don't want to be threatened by her like this forever. I was so deep in thought that I accidentally popped a shrimp into my mouth. Su Yanbing watched as I ate the shrimp myself and looked like I was really enjoying it. Her eyes turned dark and unreadable. I could feel her icy gaze like it could freeze me to death. Only then did I snap out of it and quickly stuff the shrimp I was about to eat into her mouth instead. "I tested it for you. It's safe, not poisoned." Su Yanbing, fed by force, chewed it instinctively. The coldness in her eyes eased a little. The old Su Yanbing would have found it disgusting even if I picked food for her. Now she watched me feed her directly. Not only did she eat it, she looked like she really enjoyed it. Suddenly, the girlfriends started teasing us. "When you two are being lovey-dovey, could you consider the feelings of us lonely singles?" I was already holding in my anger and couldn't stand their teasing. Lin Xinyao played with her wine glass and looked at me. "Gunfire and troops are so hard to please. Why not consider liking someone else like me?" Then I stuffed another peeled shrimp into Su Yanbing's mouth, looking like I only had eyes for her. My voice unconsciously softened. "Yes, she's a bit harsh, but she's beautiful. I just like how she's beautiful cold and has such a great figure." Su Yanbing looked at me as I spouted such nonsense. She was smiling on the surface, but probably grinding her teeth inside. A faint smile appeared in her usually cold eyes. After dinner, we walked out of the restaurant. I was still thinking of going back to the Jiu family. Su Yanbing threw me the car keys. "Drive? I've had alcohol and can't drive." Besides, the original host knew how to drive. I had no way to refuse. Seeing Su Yanbing get into the back seat, I braced myself to be the driver. Good thing I learned to drive this afternoon. But as a newbie, I was still nervous on the road, especially driving at night. I focused completely and drove slowly. Su Yanbing leaned back in her seat, watching me drive the luxury car like a tractor. She couldn't help but laugh in anger. "Can you go any slower?" My hands on the steering wheel were sweating. My full attention was on the road. I couldn't handle any distractions. "Don't talk to me." Su Yanbing's face instantly turned dark. "Jiu Heilmin, had you forgotten your place?" The next second, the car suddenly shot forward like crazy. I saw the speed increasing rapidly, and my mind went blank for a moment. Seeing the car speed up like mad, Su Yanbing panicked. There was another car ahead, and I didn't slow down. It was like I was taking her to die with me. Her face instantly tensed up. She shouted, "Jiu Heilmin, you're crazy. Hit the brakes now." I screamed, "I am hitting the brakes." Then I realized I had mistaken the gas pedal for the brake. I hurried to step on the brake, but it was just a little too late. Still in shock, I only heard a loud bang, and suddenly the world went silent. As I came back to my senses, my neck and head were still aching. I heard Su Yanbing gritting her teeth, squeezing out my name from her throat, Jiu Haoming. I glanced back at her. I said I was driving just fine. You were the one who insisted on talking to me. Su Yanbing looked at me with a cold face. She squeezed out a few words through clenched teeth. So, she hadn't finished speaking. I interrupted her and quickly apologized, saying it was my fault. It's my fault for being so useless. The moment I hear your voice, I get so nervous I can't even tell the brake from the gas pedal. Though I kept blaming myself with my mouth, there wasn't a trace of guilt on my face. After saying that, I got out of the car. Su Yanbing, face still cold, took out her phone and made a call. She asked her assistant to come handle it. After ending the call, she saw me rubbing my neck. Bending down, saying something to the owner of the car I hit up ahead. My posture clearly showed I was apologizing for a mistake. This version of me was completely different from how Su Yanbing remembered me. The me in his memory never apologized to anyone other than her. I was always arrogant and willful. Even when I made mistakes, I always acted superior. I thought others deserved it. For something like a car accident, the old me wouldn't even get out of the car. I would just make a call and have someone handle it. I wouldn't care whether the other person lived or died. But now, I hurriedly checked to see if the other person was hurt. Are you okay? The woman got out, touching her face. The bruise on her forehead marred her otherwise fair and perfect face. When I saw her face clearly, I just felt so guilty. I felt even more sorry. Wasn't this woman the popular star Murong Yan? In the novel, she was working with Lu Jinian on a film. When she was mentioned, it was said she started as a child star. Lu Jinian's first film was with her. Fans celebrated across the entire internet. Then, their on-screen couple pairing went viral, but that very year, before the original host died, Murong Yan also died. She left behind a long suicide note. Then she committed suicide. A girl who always appeared cheerful and sunny on screen was actually burdened by a pair of blood-seeking parents. They broke the wings of her dreams, made her lose herself, and treated her as a money-making tool, never caring about how she felt. After suffering long-term depression, her parents forced her to accompany powerful figures in the industry. That became the final straw that broke the camel's back. In the end, Murong Yan chose suicide. When I read the book, I felt like she was my shadow. I shed so many tears out of empathy. At that moment, Murong Yan looked at her beloved car, her eyes and lips curving into a slight smile. Little brother, is this what they call sitting peacefully in the car, and disaster falls from the sky? I looked at her entire figure and still saw that lingering sadness in her eyes. I'm really sorry. I'll cover the repair cost for your car, and your checkup fee, and the emotional damages too. Most people screamed at first sight of her, even fainted from excitement, but Murong Yan, for the first time, saw someone look at her with pity, as if he saw through the glamorous exterior to the unhappiness beneath. She froze for a moment. I pulled out my phone and said, "Can you give me your contact info? So we can easily follow up if there's anything to compensate for. It'll make things easier." Murong Yan didn't care about the car at all, nor did she expect compensation. But that look I gave her earlier made her take my phone without thinking and add her contact info. She called herself and then returned the phone to me. "Little brother, don't you recognize me?" I put away my phone, smiled, and said, "The big star Murong Yan. How could I not recognize you? I'm your loyal fan. Can you give me another autograph?" Murong Yan looked at me helplessly. This man, upon seeing her, clearly didn't show the excitement of meeting her idol. Seeing that she didn't move, I stepped forward and hugged her. "If you don't want to sign an autograph, then just give me a hug instead." Murong Yan froze on the spot. This was different from the fans' excited and frantic hugs. I quietly held her in my arms. It was both a confession and a form of comfort. "You are truly amazing. Your brilliance gave many people the courage to face hardship. You gave many the strength to keep moving forward. I hope one day we can give you the same courage and become the strength that supports you." Su Yanbing watched me from the car handling the accident. And in the end, somehow even flirting with a woman, she immediately got out of the car with a darkened face. She pulled me out from the woman's embrace. Right at that moment, her assistant called in a rush. Su Yanbing took my car keys and dragged me away. Marang Yan stood there watching me, still thinking about the words I had just said. I smiled and waved at Marang Yan. My smile was like peach blossoms in March and a summer breeze in June, like all the beauty in the world. It froze into a painting under the warm-colored lights. Su Yanbing looked at me with a gloomy face. Her voice was ice-cold. Jiu Haoming, are you cheating on me right in front of me? You've got some nerve. I leaned in close and said, Yanbing, my life is in your hands now. You won't let me touch anyone else. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't dare. Right now, all I think about is how to please you. How about tonight? I do something for you. I leaned in again. Sure enough, the next second, Su Yanbing was absolutely disgusted. She coldly opened the car door and shoved me inside. On the way, I received a call from my mom, Xiaoming. Why haven't you come home this late? I didn't want them to worry, but now I can't get divorced and I'm being threatened by Su Yanbing. There's no way I can go home every day now. So I had to reply, I'm not coming home tonight. Su Yanbing admitted her mistakes to me. I decided to give her another chance. Su Yanbing snorted at me through the rearview mirror. My mom already knew this would happen. She wasn't very surprised, just a little disappointed. Then go have dinner with her at our house tomorrow. I glanced at Su Yanbing in the passenger seat. I agreed for now, okay. My mom asked again with concern. Let me know if anything's wrong. Rest early, I replied. You and Dad go to bed early too. Don't worry about me all the time. As soon as I hung up the call, Su Yanbing's annoying voice rang out. I apologized to you. Apologized for what? I waved my hand with a smile. Just an excuse to pacify my parents. How could you be wrong? It's all my fault. Even though I was clearly annoyed, I still had to humor her, just to give her the satisfaction of tormenting me. If she was satisfied, life would be easier for me. But Su Yanbing pushed things further. She continued, I remember you used to love posting long emotional text on social media, little essays. Since you know you were wrong, write one tonight. No less than 3,000 words. The original host used to write those every day. Su Yanbing never even read them. Now that I don't love her anymore, and I've deleted all those old posts, she's forcing me to write again. All I could do was smile and say, I'll write it when I get home. As soon as I got home, I went straight to my room. I sent a message to Gur, Sister Warner. What are our chances of taking down Sucorp? Or how much would it cost to acquire them? In just a few years, Sucorp had become the local industry leader. There must be skeletons in their closet too. If I don't want to be at her mercy, I need to overpower her. I don't believe that as someone who transmigrated here, I can't beat her. In the novel, Su Yanbing destroyed the story. I'll destroy Sucorp. I may not be good at much, but I can let the plot master every cunning way to make money. Gur video called me, her face lit with a smile. You hate her that much now? The next second, seeing that I was no longer staying at the Jiu family, she realized she was wrong again. Show off. You went back to the house you bought for that woman again. I didn't hide anything. I told her about Su Yanbing, threatening me with a video. What video? Send it to me. I sent her the video, then calmly said, You probably didn't know about this, right? Gur stayed silent for a while. Looks like she really didn't know. Turns out Su Yanbing handled this privately for the company's sake, handled it quietly on my behalf. Seeing this, I continued. But now it's become leverage to control me. That's why I must bring her down and take back the chip she's holding. I remember that Jiushi has its own film and television production chain. Have someone send me a list of their contracted artists. Gur looked puzzled. What do you want that for? I smiled. I just thought of a great money-making project. It's hard to explain over the phone. I'll tell you more tomorrow. As someone who does writing as a side gig while working full-time, I had already been learning about the short drama industry. Several short dramas costing millions can go viral in just a day, and production time is short. You can film several in a month. The only selling points are good-looking leads, acting is average, and the plots are brainless but satisfying. They don't stand up to scrutiny, but people love watching them. In the era of short videos, short dramas are a goldmine. In this novel's world, short video just started trending, but short dramas hadn't taken off yet. Entertainment industry productions were still traditional. There were no popular rebirth or transmigration stories yet. I'll take all the viral short drama plots I've seen and film them all at once. Once the addiction sets in, No one else will catch up. After the call ended, I took a shower and immediately received the info by email. I opened my laptop and took a look. The company had just signed a batch of new talents recently. I decided to make time to visit the company. For now, I had to start turning those popular dramas into scripts. In order to get rid of the threat as soon as possible, I dove straight into action. While I was focused on writing, Su Yanbing messaged me. Why is writing 3,000 words so hard? Should I raise it to 5,000 words for you? I glanced at the time. It was already 11 p.m. This woman wasn't even asleep and still thinking about my little essay. She's seriously sick. Not wanting to disappoint her, I quickly posted a private essay visible to only her. Only she could see it. I think I'm getting more and more greedy for your body. Otherwise, I wouldn't find myself on this quiet night, thinking of your cold lips, wondering if they're as sweet as I imagined. That body of yours, always covered tightly. Is it really like I imagine it to be? Su Yanbing didn't expect me to be so shameless, so blatantly writing about my hungry fantasies of her. Her face turned black, then red, then black again. But soon she realized something was off. Normally when I posted, those classmates who always kissed up to me would like and comment. And this was prime phone scrolling time for them. But a while had passed already. Not a single like or comment. It was obvious I did it on purpose, writing it just to annoy her. Su Yanbing immediately replied, very well written. From now on, write one every day. When I saw the message, I gave up sleep and went back to writing scripts. I wrote to different openings, and 20 episodes for each. It was already past 5 in the morning. I was completely exhausted, saved everything, and collapsed into bed. Su Yanbing got up and saw there was no breakfast on the table. The whole downstairs was quiet. She turned the knob to my bedroom door, only to find the room still locked tight. She knocked on the door. I was exhausted, pulled the blanket over my head. But it was no use, the knocking continued. I was forcibly woken up in frustration. I got up and opened the door. What is it that can't wait? My hair was messy. I yawned nonstop, still looking a bit handsomely lazy. Su Yanbing looked at me coldly. Where's breakfast? That sobered me up instantly. She knocked on my door just for breakfast? I'm not a breakfast vendor. I walked up and hugged her tightly, disgusting her for revenge. There's no breakfast. Why don't you just eat me instead? Su Yanbing was momentarily dazed, but very quickly, that familiar nauseated expression returned. She snapped out of it and immediately pushed me away. You sure there's none? Su Yanbing's tone had a hint of threat. I gritted my teeth. I'll go make it now. Since I transmigrated here, I hadn't stepped into the kitchen. There weren't many ingredients in the fridge. I ended up finding a pack of noodles, boiled it with a few eggs. When I finished cooking, I found that woman had already left. I thought she wasn't going to eat, so I ate it myself, then planned to take a nap. Just then, Su Yanbing messaged, "Is it ready? Bring it to the office." Sure enough, this woman really knew how to torture people. I gritted my teeth, changed clothes, grabbed my laptop, and left. Before leaving, I saw the bank card she had placed on the divorce agreement was still on the table. I picked it up and put it into my pocket. Then I bought breakfast and delivered it to Su Group. Su Yanbing happened to be in a meeting. I placed it on her desk and left quickly. After that, I drove to Jiushi Group. After finding Gur, I opened the scripts on my laptop and showed them to her. I've got the scripts about transmigration and rebirth. Sister Warner, take a look. Gur curiously clicked it open. After just reading the opening, her face was full of disbelief. I pulled over a chair and sat down. I waited until she had almost finished reading before speaking. I planned to turn them into short dramas. I explained short videos and short dramas to her, and then talked about the future prospects. Right now, apps like Douyin are just taking off. The user base is already over 100 million. In the future, it will only grow. Gur watched me talk passionately about business. There was light in my eyes, a smile on my face, thinking back on the script she just read. For a moment, she wondered if the Jiu Heoming in front of her was a transmigrator, if he hadn't switched souls. How else could he have changed so drastically? Seeing Gur staring at me in a daze, I reached out and pinched her soft cheeks. I have to say, with that skin and face, even a monk would feel tempted. Sister Warner, what do you think? Gur folded her arms and sat at the table. Well, since it's your idea, why don't you Take charge of it. I nodded. No problem. I'll send you the scripts first. You can hand them to the directors to start prepping. I'll head over to the talent agency later to pick the leads. Help me give the agency a heads up. Gore looked at me. Want me to come with you? I waved my hand. No need. You focus on your stuff. I'll find you if I need help. After saying that, I was just about to leave. Then I suddenly turned back. There's one more thing I want to bring Murong Yan on board. Gore leaned in, looking puzzled. Why suddenly him? I casually explained. I just think he's a rare talent in the entertainment industry. He's bound to become a big star. But his agent has always been his mom. Doesn't look like she plans to let him sign with an agency. Have someone draft a contract. I'll handle the negotiation with his mom. Gore looked at me, admiring my confidence. I was momentarily stunned. I had just left the company, getting ready to head to the talent agency, when I received a text from Su Yanbing. If you order takeout for lunch again, just wait to make the headlines. I clenched my teeth in anger. That damn Yanbing, she's really committed to tormenting me. I checked the time. Then I went to a big mall, spent over $1 million of her money to buy gifts for my parents, then went back to the Jiu family for a meal. My mom was all smiles when she saw me return, and I even bought them gifts. She thought Su Yanbing came back with me. She looked toward the door several times and asked, Hey Oming, did you come back alone? I waved my hand and said she didn't have time to come. My mom came up smiling. You came back. That's enough. Why buy his stuff? We don't lack anything. Though she said that with her mouth, she kept holding the bag I got her, looking at it from every angle. The more she looked, the more she liked it. She felt all her other bags at home should retire now. She couldn't put it down. The maids all praised her, saying the bag was beautiful, and it matched her outfit perfectly. My mom stood up, holding the bag and looking at it again. Really, my son bought it for me. I didn't expect her to be so happy. I thought rich moms didn't lack anything and wouldn't care about stuff like this. After the meal, I told Aunt Zhang to pack up the leftovers for Su Yanbing. When she heard it was for Su Yanbing, she was so surprised her eyes nearly popped out. Young master, sending these to Miss Su might not be appropriate. How about I cook a couple of fresh dishes? I waved her off. No need, this is fine. While packing, she glanced at me. Back then, when I packed meals for Su Yanbing, I would always pick the best dishes for her in advance. I used to care so much. By the time I arrived at Sushi Group, it was nearly 1 p.m. I ran into the assistant. I directly shoved the thermal container into her hands. This is President Su's meal. The 5th time Su Yanbing checked the time, someone pushed open the office door. She instinctively looked up to see the assistant, smiling as she walked in with the thermal container. Mr. Jiu is bringing you lunch again. Su Yanbing's face turned even colder. He's here. The assistant just waved and left. After eating takeout for several days, she actually kind of missed Mr. Gu's cooking. Seeing that Su Yanbing had no further questions, the assistant, as usual, hugged the thermal container and was about to happily leave. President Su, if there's nothing else, I'll be going now. The next second, she was coldly stopped by Su Yanbing. Where are you taking that? The assistant looked at Su Yanbing with confusion. I thought you didn't want to eat Mr. Gu's food. Sensing the cold and dangerous aura, she immediately shut her mouth. She placed the thermal container on the desk. Please enjoy, President Su. I'll get back to work now. Su Yanbing leaned back in her chair, staring at the thermal container. She picked up the phone beside her. Meanwhile, I had just gotten into the car and finished talking with the director of the agency. Su Yanbing's call came in. Buy me a cup of coffee from that place on Manhwa Street. Bring it to me personally. I gritted my teeth. Do your assistants not exist? You need me to handle such a trivial task? Su Yanbing replied instantly. An assistant would be wasted on this. You're just right for it. Well, thank you then for reminding me I'm still useful. I hung up the phone and still went to the agency. The director led me in. I sized up the room from near to far, then walked toward a few of the girls. I raised my hand and touched the face of the girl standing on the far left, then pinched her arm. Her arms were a bit chubby, but with some training, you'll improve. The girl's face instantly turned red. I then looked at the girl next to her, raised my hand and pinched her chin. examined her left and right, and pinched her waist on the right side. She's a bit chubby too, needs to lose some weight. The girl couldn't help but ask, "Do you really need a good figure to act?" I glanced at her. That depends on what role you want to play. If it's just background roles, not really. But if you want to play an idol-type female lead, you need both good looks and figure. I didn't expect the difference between real life and photos to be this big. It's not that their looks are terrible, but their body shapes don't meet the standard. These short dramas are cheaply made, and the pay is ridiculously low. No well-known actor would want to do them. Newcomers can only rely on appearance. If your looks don't appeal to men, even I don't find them good enough, how could the audience be satisfied? That's why both the male and female leads must look good. Once I finished examining everyone, I officially started to explain my purpose. I'm planning to film a few dramas soon. Not the usual kind with episodes over 30 minutes, but short-form video dramas. Before I even finished introducing it, Su Yanbing messaged me again. "Buy me a coffee." "Did you go abroad to get it?" I immediately replied, "Traffic jam. Don't rush me. Give me another half hour." Then I locked my phone and continued introducing the project. Each script takes around 7 to 12 days to shoot. The pay ranges from 600 to 10,000 a day depending on the role. If you want to hone your acting skills, you can sign up with the director. Since Su Yanbing was threatening me, I quickly wrapped things up and rushed off. When I arrived at the company, the delivery guy was already waiting outside the office. I walked up and gave him a tip, grabbed the coffee, and rushed upstairs. As I pushed open the office door, Su Yanbing shot me a cold glare. I didn't mind it at all. I handed the coffee over to him. Then I put on a smile. "Sorry for keeping my dear wife waiting." There was still a bit of sweat on my forehead, and my breathing was slightly rushed. I had rushed up in a hurry. Su Yanbing glanced at the coffee on the table. "Did you poison it?" The next second, I picked it up and took a sip, still smiling as I looked at her, though the smile didn't reach my eyes. "Wife, are you reassured now?" Su Yanbing's face turned even colder. She looked at me, then at the coffee I drank. I walked around the desk and approached her, putting on a flattering tone, "Dear wife, do you need anything else? Want a hug or a kiss?" Su Yanbing leaned back in her chair to create distance. She stared at me coldly, looking at how guarded and hostile she was. I didn't have time to feel happy before I heard Su Yanbing say, "I invited some friends over for dinner tonight. Go home and prepare it." I clenched my teeth and held back my anger, still wearing a service smile. "Yes, dear wife." "How many friends? Chinese or Western cuisine?" Su Yanbing casually waved her hand. 5 or 6. "Do whatever you want." I nodded. "All right then. Dear wife, I'll go prepare dinner now." As soon as I turned around, I dropped my smile. This damn Yanbing can't keep watching and torturing me like this. I have to give her something to do. Let her shift her focus to the male lead. After I left, Su Yanbing picked up the coffee from the table and took a sip. Only after drinking did she suddenly remember I had taken a sip too. Her expression immediately darkened like a storm. A raging storm, even. She immediately placed the coffee far away. Didn't take another sip. That night, when Su Yanbing got home, she heard loud, upbeat music playing in the living room. She entered but didn't see any sign of me. The smell of food was coming from the kitchen. She walked to the kitchen door. She saw that at home, there were 2 beautiful women cooking. One of them dipped a dish in sauce and had me taste it. I ate while praising how good it was. "You're so pretty. And you have such a great figure. You don't look like a chef at all. I thought I got scammed. Didn't expect you to have real skills too." The woman smiled and said, "Young Master Bu, what do I look like I do then?" I smiled and said, "With your looks, it'd be a shame not to be a model." As we chatted, I felt a chilling sensation on my back. I instinctively turned around and saw Su Yanbing's face cold as ice, like I owed her billions. Just as I walked over, Su Yanbing curled his lips into a sneer. "I told you to cook, and you bring 2 women home instead. You really know how to enjoy life. Should I call a few more for you?" Su Yanbing was about to pull out her phone. I quickly held down her hand. "What enjoyment? My cooking is too bad to serve." "I was afraid I'd embarrass you in front of your friends. So I hired 2 chefs. I'm not an idiot. If I were really seeing women, would I bring them home? Just then, the doorbell rang. Su Yanbing gave me a warning glance and pulled her hand back. I immediately went to open the door. At that moment, Su Yanbing's phone rang. She took out her phone. I glanced over and saw it was a call from Lu Jinian. I couldn't help but perk up my ears. Turns out Lu Jinian had just gotten home and received a local delivery. A bouquet of flowers and a package. She opened the delivery, and inside was a choker necklace, along with a card. It said, "Zhao Nianian, I like you. I dream of you every night. I really want to see you. This is a gift I carefully picked out for you. I think you'll look very charming wearing it." Lu Jingnian immediately thought this person was a creep. It felt like someone was watching the place. It sent chills down his spine when he called Su Yanbing. His voice was trembling. "Sister Yanbing, can you come to my house and deal with this?" Su Yanbing picked up the phone with a puzzled look. "What's wrong? I think I've encountered a pervert." When I heard that word, I almost burst out laughing. I bit my lip and held it in. When I saw Su Yanbing end the call, I quickly went to help bring the dishes to the table. In 2 years of marriage, this was the first time Su Yanbing invited friends over. And after the affectionate scene between us last time, his girlfriends naturally assumed we had finally become a real couple. As soon as they entered, they started handing over gifts. When Momo pulled out a 50,000 yuan romantic hotel card and stuffed it into Su Yanbing's hand. "Sister Yanbing, this is from the heart, don't be touched." Lin Xinyao brought a mysterious gift bag. "These are all things we've personally used. We thought they were great and wanted to share them." Su Yanbing looked at the items they brought, each one more outrageous than the last. With a cold face, she said, "I have something to do. I'm heading out." I was bringing out dishes and heard her say she was leaving, so I acted thoughtfully and sensibly, saying, "If you've got something to do, go ahead. I'll take good care of everyone here." As I spoke, I placed the dish in my hand into Wen Mumu's empty hands, and at the same time, I smoothly took the gift from her hands. "Go on quickly. Don't let it hold you up." Su Yanbing looked at me, eager to kick her out, then looked at the room full of women. She reached out and grabbed my hand. "You're coming with me." The group of girlfriends was stunned. She's even taking Jiu Haoming with her to run errands. Their relationship must be that close already. I frowned and looked at her. "You're going on an errand. Wouldn't it be inappropriate for me to go? Besides, we still have guests at home." As the host, I can't just ignore them. I wanted to refuse. After all, this whole thing was set up to increase Su Yanbing's closeness with Lu Jinian, to make him anxious about the male lead. I spent time and money to fabricate this fake obsessive fan. If I went along, how would those two get a chance to bond? Su Yanbing looked at a few girlfriends. "Entertain yourselves," she said, then pulled me away, so quickly that I didn't even have time to set down what I was holding. It wasn't until I was shoved into the car that I noticed. These gifts were all romantic hotel vouchers and adult toys. Even someone as thick-skinned as me couldn't help blushing. I immediately shoved everything onto Su Yanbing. She could make good use of them tonight, so I really couldn't go with her. I looked at Su Yanbing and calmly said, "If both of us leave, what if they tear the house down? I'll stay and entertain them. You go do your thing." Su Yanbing glared at me like he could see right through me. She tossed the stuff into the back seat and started the car. I said with a hint of helplessness, "I didn't even bring my phone," but Su Yanbing acted like she didn't hear a thing. Soon, we arrived at Lu Jinian's place. I was still thinking of getting Su Yanbing to go handle it while I waited in the car, but then she took the keys and got out. I sat in the car, watching her walk away without even looking back. I couldn't hold back my curiosity and followed her quietly. Standing outside the door, I secretly watched the scene unfold. Lu Jinian was pacing around nervously. When he saw Su Yanbing arrive, it was like seeing a savior. He immediately rushed forward and handed him the card, then told him the whole story. At some point, the deliveries were only showing Lu Jinian's address. Su Yanbing pulled up the security footage, then made a call to have someone track the delivery driver using the license plate number. Then she put away her phone and looked at Lu Jinian. "Before the matter is cleared up, don't stay here." I saw them just chatting so blandly. Not even a hint of physical contact. It instantly made me feel terrible. Can you just stop holding back? Even the Ninja Turtles would pale in comparison to you two. I was bored and fiddling with a potted plant from when I was alive. I was just touching the leaves, seeing they weren't reacting the way I expected. I got all anxious and upset. By the time I came to my senses, I had yanked the whole plant out by the roots. To Lu Jinlian, who just came in, it looked like I was upset again, due to a misunderstanding. He flinched and immediately tried to explain, Haoming, Sister Yanbing and I aren't what you think. Seeing this, I quickly set down the plant in my hand and forced a sheepish, harmless smile. Faster than him, I apologized. Sorry. I was just bored while waiting. I accidentally used too much force. I'll buy you a new plant tomorrow. Su Yanbing gave me a meaningful look. Lu Jingnian quickly waved it off. No need. It's just a plant. I didn't want to interfere with their bonding. So I quickened my pace and walked ahead. Lu Jingnian seemed anxious and asked Su. Haoming seems angry. Did he misunderstand? Su Yanbin looked at that figure and shook her head. Don't mind him. I quickly returned to the car and sat in the back seat, leaving the passenger's seat for Lu Jingnian. Lu Jingnian felt it was inappropriate to sit in front. He was about to sit in the back, but I refused. He uneasily sat in the front passenger seat, wanting to explain something to me. But when he saw me with my eyes closed, clearly not wanting to be disturbed, he gave up. Instinctively, he looked at Su Yanbing and saw Su Yanbing looking at me. Through the rearview mirror, Su Yanbing started the car. She looked at Lu Jingnian and asked, Have you eaten? Lu Jingnian shook his head and said, Not yet. After those two sentences, the entire car fell into an eerie silence. I peeked at them a few times, but didn't see any further interaction between them. I even wished I could turn invisible, manually push their heads together to make them kiss. Meanwhile, when Mumu was chatting with a few close friends, doesn't it seem like Su Yanbing is someone now? She had something to handle, and even took Jiu Haoming with her. What does that mean? Lin Xinyao laughed and said, What else could it mean? She's afraid you'll make a move on her husband. Qin Shi waved her hand. I bet they won't come back once they leave. Should we just leave? When Mumu pouted, I already gave my gift. Why should we leave? Not only am I not leaving, I'm going to eat him out of house and home. When Mumu had just pulled out the most expensive red wine from the cabinet, ready to open it in celebration. When she saw me return, my face looked bad and I was walking fast. Su Yanbing and Lu Jingnian followed closely behind. All three of us looked out of sorts. I drank a big glass of water, and only then did the fire in my chest ease a little. Afraid that Su Yanbing would find some clue, I even went to get cash on purpose. Spent money from my own card. Went to all that trouble, and in the end, nothing happened between them. I reluctantly finished my water and saw the open bottle of red wine. A light bulb went off in my head. I suddenly had a brilliant idea. Get them drunk and let things spiral from there. Lu Jingnian's first instinct was to call Su Yanbin. As soon as Su Yanbin got the call from Lu Jinlian, she didn't care about her friends anymore. She rushed over immediately. If that's not mutual love, then what is? All this just to torment me and not divorce. I can only say Su Yanbin's grudge runs deep. For the sake of my happy single life. I cheerfully called out to Wen Mumu and the others. You've already started drinking? Great. I'll grab 2 more bottles. Tonight, no one goes home sober. The 3 of them stared at me, confused, as I happily went to get more wine. When Mumu looked confused, is Su Yanbing bringing her husband to pick up her love rival? Qin Shiu smirked mischievously. Sister Yanbing just wants to enjoy the best of both worlds. Su Yanbing and Lu Jingnian walked up to the table. I had already returned with 2 bottles of red wine. I sat at the far end of the table, leaving the 2 connected. Seats next to each other open for them. Su Yanbin sat in the middle. Lu Jingnian sat beside her, a bit nervously greeting everyone. When Mumu politely said, I've heard of movie star Lu for a long time. Finally got the chance to meet you today. I immediately jumped in and said, Then you've got to toast him, at the very least. Su Yanbing gave me a sidelong glance, her expression amused yet faintly mocking. Everyone else turned their eyes to me too. I looked back at them, feigning innocence. Did I say something wrong? A toast is expected, right? I quietly smiled, raised my glass. Mr. Superstar, a toast to you. It was Lu Jingnian's first time eating with Su Yanbing's friends, so of course he couldn't refuse. He politely clinked glasses and took a sip. I immediately picked up the wine bottle, stood up enthusiastically, and went to refill his glass. Lu Jingnian quickly waved his hand. Haoming, no need. I can do it myself. Smiling, I filled up his glass. You're an honored guest personally brought by Su Yanbing. How could I let you serve yourself? Su Yanbing finished her glass of wine and gave me a faint, unreadable look. There was a hint of something unclear in her eyes. The others looked completely lost, unsure what was happening. After pouring the wine, I looked over at Lin Xinyao, next to Wen Mumu. Aren't you going to toast the celebrity? Lin Xinyao curled her lips into a smile, raised her glass and said, I'm not someone without manners. As Lin Xinyao was about to toast Lu Jingnian, Su Yanbing gave her a cold look. If you want a drink, drink it yourself. Then she looked at Lu Jingnian. You don't need to respond to them. It's fine. But Lu Jingnian still raised his glass. I can drink. Chen Xiu immediately raised her glass to toast Lu Jingnian. I'll toast the superstar too. No one wants to be seen as rude. Lu Jingnian ended up drinking several glasses in a row. I returned to my seat and encouraged everyone to eat, then shifted the focus onto Su Yanbing. I hadn't even come up with an excuse yet when Su Yanbing coldly stared at the three across from her. Is it polite to only toast him and not anyone else? The unspoken meaning, toast me too. It was clearly her way of sticking up for Lu Jingnian. Lin Xinyao laughed and twirled her wine glass. He's the guest. It's fine for us to toast first. You invited us to dinner. Shouldn't you toast us first? You're asking us to toast the host instead. So who's actually being rude? Right then and there, I wanted to give her a thumbs up. Then I glanced at Lu Jingnian. His expression didn't look good. Clearly, he was jealous. I immediately stepped in to ease the tension. I refilled Lu Jingnian's glass, then filled my own to the brim. My wife and I will toast everyone together. Su Yanbing shot me a cold glance. I gave her a look, trying to signal her. She didn't respond, so I pinched her thigh under the table. Su Yanbing's expression immediately darkened further. Still with a cold face, she raised her glass. Truth be told, she can handle her liquor. Once I saw her drink, I stopped paying attention to them. I just focused on eating by myself, to avoid giving Su Yanbing a chance to boss me around. Crab, lobster, or any dish that required hands-on service, I avoided them all. Su Yanbing saw how much I was enjoying my food, and clearly looked annoyed by it. She kept shooting me icy looks, the kind that could freeze a person to death. When she looked at me again, I misunderstood her intentions. Do you want some too? Then picked up a piece of braised pork and shoved it into her mouth. The next second, I saw this woman, who always had a cleanliness obsession with me. Her face turned even uglier. I couldn't feel more satisfied inside. I glanced at Lu Jingnian again, and casually took another sip of wine. After dinner, when Mumu and the others still wanted to sing and hang out, but Su Yanbing mercilessly kicked them out, I wanted to escape too. I picked up my phone and glanced at it. I made up an excuse and said my mom had an emergency at home and asked me to come back. I said I'd call to check what happened. I made the call while walking out, leaving the living room to Su Yanbing and Lu Jingnian. But just before I left the room, I heard Su Yanbing's warning. 5 minutes. If I don't see you in 5 minutes, today will be your last good day. I gritted my teeth in anger. This woman's not thinking about her own man. Why is she so fixated on me? Off to the side, Lu Jingnian, looking dizzy, stared at Su Yanbing. Clearly, he was drunk. Su Yanbing glanced at the time on her watch, then looked at Lu Jingnian. I'll have your assistant come pick you up. Just as she said that and was pulling out her phone to call, Lu Jingnian suddenly stood up and knocked the phone out of her hand onto the floor. Sister Yanbing, can I stay? Su Yanbing kept her distance, annoyed, and said coldly, then let my assistant stay with you. Lu Jingnian shook his head. I don't want him to stay. I want you to stay. Su Yanbing's elegant eyebrows furrowed even deeper. Lu Jingnian reached out and grabbed her by the side of her waist. Did you fall for Brother Haoming? If you like him, what about me? I've been waiting for you all these years. Meanwhile, at the door, I was on a call with the director of the agency. I had a brief conversation. The response I got was, out of 10 people, only 3 signed up. 2 men and 1 woman. I was a little surprised. Newcomers these days sure have high standards, but whatever. The only reason I reached out to them first was because they're signed artists with our company. I just wanted to give them a chance to grow and shine. I got the contact info of those willing to come. Got it over here, then turned around to check the situation at home and saw the 2 of them engaging in intimate physical contact, living together for years at that close distance, still holding his clothes face to face. What else could they be doing besides kissing? Next step is probably carrying him back to the room. Alcohol really is a wonderful thing. I couldn't help but curl my lips into a smile. What a shame it's too far away. I can't hear anything. I was watching with great interest. Then Su Yanmin suddenly turned and looked straight at me. Gave me a scare. Had enough watching? If you have, then get over here. I was a bit speechless, doing that kind of thing, but still remembered to look around. What do you want calling me over? I reluctantly walked over. Su Yanbin was expressionless. Where's your phone? I gritted my teeth and smiled, picking up the phone and handing it to her. In the next second, Su Yanbin shoved the drunk Lu Jinlian at me. Here, take him. Jiu Haoming, he's sleeping with you tonight. Hearing that, I felt like lightning struck on a clear day. You're letting him sleep with me. Aren't you afraid I'll poison him? Su Yanbin turned and walked upstairs without a word, without even looking back. If he dies, you die with him. I gritted my teeth and looked at her. Letting him sleep with me. Wouldn't it be better if all three of us just stayed alive? Su Yanbin finally stopped and turned to look at me, with eyes sharp enough to slice me into 1,000 pieces. I flinched hard. I generously let them sleep together. Shouldn't he be happy? Su Yanbin slammed the door. I had no choice but to help Lu Jinian into my room. Lu Jinian wouldn't let go, hugging me tight. He thought I was Su Yanbin. Yanbin-ji, I like you. I recorded the voice and sent it to Su Yanbin, planning to add some fuel to their romance, but ended up shooting myself in the foot. Su Yanbin replied instantly, You that free? Have you written today's little essay for your moments? You seem to be good at praising women. Writing 500 words of praise shouldn't be a problem. I gritted my teeth and took a template praising a woman's appearance from a novel and copied it, then added some extra flirtatious lines. To gross him out, your face is like a divine masterpiece. So perfect even the heavens can't compare. You're the beauty from a triple set out of 4, and the missing one is in the Pacific Ocean, made up of the drool I've shed for you. Can you please stop stealing my soul? After sending that message, I turned off my phone completely. Then I saw Lu Jinian's fair, delicate face moving close to mine. I glanced at him in disbelief. No wonder he's a top celebrity right now. That face is even prettier than most beauties. His skin looks like it could drip water. Lu Jinian murmured softly. His gaze toward me was full of longing. I liked you from the moment I first saw you. I really like you so much. Then he puckered his lips and leaned in to kiss me. Hey. Lu Jinian, what are you trying to do? Just when I was panicking, Su Qingyan opened the door and stepped out from room 1202. Jiu Haoming. She froze mid-sentence when she saw the scene. The next morning, I headed out early. There's still a year left until the business war between Su Group and Gushi Group. In the meantime, I have to build up my company's strength. So I decided to start with Gushi Group's film and television division. I planned to first sign the rising star Marong Yan. Inside a luxurious and elegant tea room at the office, I was reviewing the contract for Marong Yan that the finance director gave me yesterday. From what I remember in the novel world, Marong Yan debuted alongside Tong Xin. She had been a regular on the big screen since she was very young. But behind this girl, who always smiled in front of the camera, was a pair of vampiric parents. They broke her wings of dreams, stripped away her identity, treated her as a tool to make money, and never cared about how she felt. After long-term depression, her parents forced her to accompany powerful figures in the industry. That became the final straw that broke the camel's back. In the end, Marong Yin chose to end her own life. While reading the novel, I felt like she was my reflection. I truly empathized and cried a lot. Thinking of this, I called to arrange a meeting with Marong Yan's mother. About an hour later, Marong Yan's mother, Feng Xin, arrived late. When Feng Xin saw me, the disdain in her eyes immediately surfaced. Qingxiang, isn't this the Jiu family's idiot who paid to force marriage? The useless only son who knows nothing, Director Yang. I glanced at her, thinking about what she did to her daughter. I didn't bother being polite. I directly threw the contract in front of her. Director Yang asked me to talk to you. Feng Xin sneered. You. What do you know about this? Despite her words, she still picked up the contract. Her daughter's new film showed great potential. Signing now, her value could soar. But once she realized this wasn't a script deal, but a contract to sign her daughter, she threw it right back at me. She looked at me like I was an idiot. Young Master Jiu, did you bring the wrong document? Director Yang said on the phone, there's a new drama, and you wanted to collaborate. I leaned back on the sofa, then looked at her calmly. To be honest with you, we want to sign Marong Yan. Feng Xin stood up with her purse immediately. Well, then you'll be disappointed. I calmly dropped a sentence. Your daughter has severe depression. Then I spoke slowly. The entertainment industry doesn't lack actors. Your daughter just made a bit of progress. But if the secret gets out, do you think anyone would still take the risk to cast her in a film? Fang Qin's face turned pale instantly. Then she turned to look at me. How do you know that? I rested my hand on the sofa and looked at her calmly. I saw your daughter self-harming. And that's not even close to all I know. For example, you and your husband are addicted to gambling. When you run out of money, you force your daughter to act or accompany men for drinks, completely ignoring her depression. If this were exposed online, what do you think her fans would do? Over 1,000 suicide notes, each one detailing every incident. They're all bargaining chips I now hold against Fang Xin. I looked at her calmly, unhurried. Fang Qin's legs completely gave out this time. Did Yanner tell you? You think if she were willing to tell someone? I sneered. Would we still be waiting till now? I couldn't stop the surge of emotion in my chest. It felt like I saw that desperate girl before her death once again. Gritting my teeth, I continued. There are no secrets that never come to light. I just put in a little more effort to reach her. She sees you as her mother. She didn't want you to become the center of public scorn. Even when she self-harmed, she only did it where no one could see on her thigh. Think about it carefully. Do you want to become the rat everyone wants to beat up and let your daughter disappear from the entertainment industry? Or do you want to keep making money off her? With that, I stood up, took a few steps, then couldn't help but squat down and sneer at her. I'm really curious. How could you bear to keep exploiting her when you clearly saw her suffering from depression? When you carried her for 10 months and gave birth, was it out of love or just to create a money-making tool? Back then, I also wanted to ask the same of my former parents, but I never got the chance. Fang Xin just hung her head in silence. I remember the years of beatings and scolding, the years of being squeezed dry. I left the room with teary eyes, overwhelmed by emotion. Leaning against the wall, chin tilted up, trying to calm myself. Elsewhere, Su Yanming had just finished a meeting. When she stepped out of her room, she saw me outside the next room. Alone, leaning against the wall, looking very downcast. The person who came out with Su Yanming noticed she stopped walking, instinctively glanced over. What's wrong, President Su? Su Yanbing's expression turned slightly grim. She turned back and said a few words to the person, then turned again to look at me, but I was already gone. Su Yanbing had someone pull the surveillance footage. Back at the office, she called her assistant in. Find out what Jiu Haoming and Fang Xin talked about today. Half an hour later, the assistant called her back. Sir, he went to discuss signing Marong Yan. Upon hearing that, Su Yanming fell into deep thought. When did Jiu Haoming start meddling in Guxi's business? Then she remembered the time I ran into that young celebrity on the street. So, Jiu Haoming was upset because he couldn't sign him? Su Yanming tossed her phone aside and said to her assistant, Bring Marong Yan into our company. The assistant nodded. Understood, President Su. I'll take care of it now. At that moment, Su Yanbing's phone suddenly rang. She picked it up and glanced at it. Your account spent 128,888 yuan. Your account spent 38,888 yuan. Su Yanbing let out a cold laugh. Spending my money while thinking of another woman. On the other side, I didn't see Su Yanbing at the tea room. My mood was decent, so I headed straight to the mall. Bought my mom a full set of cosmetics and bought a few ties for my dad. Just as I was about to head home, Su Yanbing messaged me, You're in the mood to shop. Buy me the outfits and send them over. I gritted my teeth and replied, Fine. I didn't even know what size she wore, so I had to ask her assistant for the size. I bought her the suits and got back in the car. Marong Yan, who I hadn't spoken to since exchanging contact info last time, sent me a message. Big brother, I'd like to meet you to talk about the contract. I checked the time, set a meeting in the afternoon, and drove to Su Group. I delivered the clothes to the CEO's office. My dear wife, the clothes you wanted. Su Yanbing looked at my fake smile, then glanced at the clothing bag. Didn't look good. Go buy again. I was a bit speechless. How are the clothes you wear at home any different from these? You wear ugly ones every day anyway. Su Yanmin looked at me with a cold, dissatisfied face. If I wore them every day, would I still buy clothes like these? I glanced at her. What kind do you want then? Su Yanmin frowned for a moment and said, it's hard to say. You have to see it to know. My fist clenched. I gritted my teeth, forced a fake smile. Fine. I'll go buy them again for you now. Su Yanmin took out her phone and checked the time. No rush on the clothes. It's lunchtime already. Buy them in the afternoon instead. Just when I thought this woman was a little bit willful, I heard her continue, go home and cook first. I want braised pork and steamed bass. This woman even placed an order and specifically picked the most time-consuming dishes. Rich but still wants homemade food. Really hard to accept. I bought groceries and went home, had the servants help with preparation, then went back to my room to nap. After lunch, I delivered Su Yanbin's meal to the company, then went to pick clothes for her. I've never bought clothes for a woman, nor did I want to put effort into picking for a B*G woman. When I arrived at the store, I just told the clerk to pick a few matching sets. Then I took pictures of them. While browsing, I sent one set at a time. Do you like this one? Su Yanbin replied, ugly. I sent a second outfit, then sent the second one over. Su Yanbin again replied, ugly. I patiently sent her a third set. Su Yanbin replied again, ugly. Su Yanbin was clearly doing it on purpose. I'd be a fool to keep picking for her. I had plenty of ways to deal with her. I pulled out her card and handed it to the clerk. I'm in a hurry, so I'll buy these two men's and women's outfits first. Please help me match some others. Then send me photos to review. The clerk immediately nodded, all right. Please wait a moment. Then, she took out every single piece of women's clothing in the store and thoughtfully matched them for me. I sent Su Yanbin the fifth outfit photo. Then I went to a place with a better environment and privacy, a tea restaurant. I asked for a private room. As I entered the room, Liu Yu from the opposite room came out to use the restroom. He happened to see me and sighed to a friend. Lu Jinian said, Jiu Haomin has changed recently. Looking at his style, he really has changed a lot. After I walked into the room, I sent Marongyan my location. Then I opened my laptop. While writing the script, I continued dealing with Su Yanbin. Liu Yu came back from the restroom and saw a waiter bringing a drink set for two and some snacks into the opposite room. 20 minutes later, he saw a woman wearing a hat and mask push open the door to the private room. Liu Yu couldn't help but sigh again. No wonder he's changed so much. Turns out he has a new flame. Liu Yu, being Lu Jinian's best brother, knew clearly how I had bullied him over the years. Su Yanbin already disliked Jiu Haomin. If she found out I was sneaking around with another woman, wouldn't she hate me even more? Thinking of this, Liu Yu immediately sent a message to Su Yanbin. Your husband is having a date with a young model at Time Restaurant. When Su Yanbin saw the message, she immediately called to check my location. Just then, I saw Marongyan had arrived. I greeted her, and still holding my notebook, took a sip of orange juice. Then I sent another clothing photo to Su Yanbin. Put away my phone. When I looked up, I saw Marongyan taking off her hat and mask, looking at me at 20 years old. She was in her youthful prime, and had a beautiful face. It was like she was blessed by the heavens. Her skin looked like it had been soaked in milk. Her eyes, as beautiful as glazed glass, carried a hint of emotion. When she smiled, she drove her fans crazy. When she didn't, she gave off a melancholic charm. A beauty so stunning that she could make people scream through a screen, was sitting right across from me and just stared straight at me like that. I sipped my drink and casually asked, what? Fallen for me? Marongyan immediately looked away in embarrassment. She picked up her drink and took 2 sips, then looked back at me. I'm just curious how you convinced my mom. Looks like Fang Chen didn't tell her I threatened her. I smiled. Of course, the offer I made was too good. Your mom couldn't resist the temptation. Marongyan looked puzzled. Then why would you offer such good terms? I looked at her and said, because you're worth it. Then I felt that might be misunderstood. So I added, you're that talented. I believe you can create greater value for the company in the future. Marongyan stared at me for a while, as if she finally confirmed something. Brother, your taste really is bad. I looked up at her, confused. Marangyan looked at my face and said, you have a crush on Su Yanbing, but the whole world knows Su Yanbing doesn't love you. And I'm not as good as you think I am. I didn't care about the first half of what she said. I put away my smile and looked at her. My calm gaze seemed to see right through her. Feeling pressure already? Afraid of disappointing me, Marangyan felt like I really understood her. Like I could see her true self through my eyes. It was as if I knew. She was suffocating in the cage her mom trapped her in, almost out of breath. So I used guiding her as a way to rescue her. I casually ate the snacks and asked, why are you staring at me like that? Was I right? Suddenly my phone rang. I opened it to check. Su Yanbing replied, ugly again. I sent her another photo. Su Yanbing looked at the photo I sent. Her hands gripping the steering wheel tightened on the gas. She floored it instantly. 15 minutes later, she was standing outside the private room at Time Restaurant. That's when Jiu Haeoming sent her another photo. Inside, I had just put down my phone. Bang! The door slammed into the wall and trembled. Su Yanbing stormed in with a cold expression. She walked straight toward me. She looked furious. I was a bit surprised. That crazy woman's self-torture went a bit too far this time. Seems she's really mad from being tricked by me. Marangyan immediately stood up, looking at me with concern. Su Yanbing looked at me coldly, paused for a beat, then said coldly, tell her to get lost. I looked at Marangyan without fear and gestured for her to leave. You should go now. Marangyan looked at me, then at Su Yanbing. I gave her a reassuring look. Go on back. Su Yanbing's face was cold as ice. Jiu Haeoming's gaze toward Marangyan was warm, completely unlike the fake one she gives me. Su Yanbing suddenly pinned me against the table, her body almost pressing onto mine. Then she turned a cold gaze to Marangyan. What? Want to watch us have a live marital performance? I couldn't help but laugh inside. Ah, you can't even handle a simple touch. And you're talking live. Marangyan, seeing that, had no choice but to leave. The room was now just the two of us. Su Yanbing stared at me. Her cold eyes were filled with stormy rage. Jiu Haeoming, you're really good at playing mind games with me. I looked at her meekly. You asked me to pick clothes for you. I was picking clothes for you. Every set the manager sent over, I looked at carefully. I sent you only the ones I thought looked good. You're this mad. Could it be because you saw me drinking tea with another woman and got jealous? I know exactly what disgusted her the most, saying she likes me. How could she stand that? Su Yanbing acted like she'd just heard the biggest joke in the world. Jiu Haeoming, you really know how to overestimate yourself. I took the initiative to lean closer to her. I coaxed her with a sincere and considerate attitude, even making excuses for her. Then why are you so angry? Not satisfied with the way I criticize you? Then how exactly do you want me to pick? Tell me. Su Yanbing's hand on the table tightened slightly, looking at me, trying to coax her. Her expression softened a little. She grabbed me and walked off. She dragged me all the way to the car, then stuffed me inside. 15 minutes later, Su Yanbing brought me into the women's fashion section of the mall. We sat down in a store that was still on break. She glanced at me and said, pick something for me. I grabbed the newest style from the most prominent display to show her. How about this one? Su Yanbing barely glanced at it and went back to her phone. Clearly, it didn't catch her eye. A clerk immediately came over enthusiastically to help. She picked one up and introduced it to me. Sir, I think this one is quite nice. Su Yanbing shot her a cold look instantly. I told him to choose, not you. Say one more word. The clerk immediately backed away and walked far away. I finally understood. This woman just wanted to get back at me. She was playing with her new face just now, and now she's making me pick for her. I didn't want to pick anything, yet she insisted I do it. I picked one after another until my legs were sore. Su Yanbing just sat there, legs crossed, quietly playing with her phone. Sometimes she'd just glance, with a dismissive look. Sometimes she couldn't hold it in. Don't just show me any random outfit. Do you pick clothes for yourself this carelessly too? Green. Why don't you get me a green hat to go with it too? I let her criticize me however she liked, being an obedient and qualified listener, pleasing her mood and catering to her will. At the second store, I had just picked out a set and was about to speak. I think this one looks pretty good. Do you want to try it on? Su Yanbing glanced at me, If I try on everything you think looks good, I won't make it out of this store alive. I continue coaxing her, following the principle of as long as she's happy. Then what do you think about this one? Su Yanbing gave it a cold glance. Not that great. I looked at her a bit annoyed. You can't really tell how clothes look just by staring at them. You have to actually wear them to know. You ask me to pick, but you don't trust my taste. Isn't that just wasting your precious time? Su Yanbing is so forceful. I immediately dropped the magazine in my hand and stood up. She snatched the clothes from my hand and went to the fitting room to try them on. Finally, I could take a break. I pulled out my phone and replied to a few messages. Ordered a drink and was just about to sit down. Someone called me. Jiu Haoming. Shopping for your wife again? He stays at hotels long term. He doesn't even go home. You think she wear the clothes you buy? His words were full of mockery and smugness. I couldn't help but feel a surge of jealousy. I dug into the original owner's memories to recall this person. Yes, this is Luo Jia, the guy from high school who always tried to compete with the original owner. The young master, Luo Tianyu, a relative from Su Yanbing's maternal side. I couldn't be bothered to argue. I casually brushed him off. Right? You and your wife are a perfect match. So loving and well-matched. It makes me tear up from envy. Why don't I take a picture for you? You can post it on your social media. Let others envy you too. Luo Tianyu was both surprised and delighted. Normally we'd argue for several rounds, but this time, I surrendered right away. Seems like Su Yanbing really hurt me. Even the young master's pride is gone. He immediately felt even more superior. He looked at me with even more pity. I'm not showing off my love life. I just pity you. You've been chasing Su Yanbing for years. She won't even touch you. Trying to wake you up. Throwing yourself at her like that is just pathetic. The original owner's forced proposal is known across the entire internet. Wherever she goes, passers-by would point and gossip. Many just watched for fun, and a lot more stirred the pot even further. Exactly, it's too disgraceful. You've completely embarrassed all men. If it were me, my mom would probably rise from the grave in anger. Luo Tianyu was even more pleased after hearing their remarks. Did you hear that? Jiu Haoming. Think about your parents. Don't turn yourself into a joke and drag them into becoming one too. I looked at him indifferently. Thanks for your thoughtful concern, but don't waste your energy on me anymore. Pay more attention to your own wife and focus on living your own life. Don't be clueless while a whole grassland grows on your head. Luo Tianyu laughed in anger, like he just heard the joke of the century. A grassland on my head. The woman beside him looked mocking. She glared fiercely at her husband. This guy is just bitter about his own unhappy marriage. Seeing us doing well makes him unbalanced. He just wants to stir trouble. We better stay far away from people like him. Luo Tianyu nodded. Sneered, even your desperate chasing got rejected. So stop embarrassing yourself gossiping in public. No wonder Su Yanbing doesn't like you. She likes Lu Jingmian instead. I was so amused by his stupidity I almost died laughing. I looked at him. So what? I'm richer than you. Better looking than you. And I don't have a green hat. Besides, my wife and I are doing great. As I spoke, I pulled Su Yanbing next to me into my arms. Su Yanbing stared at me coldly. The tag slapped against my neck. I held back and didn't reach for her. Instead, I reached into the back of her neck for the tag. In that moment, Luo Tianyu and his wife, who had just gotten up, were stunned. The onlookers were shocked too. Wasn't he the one chasing? Wasn't Su Yanbing supposed to dislike him? Gossip really is unreliable. At that moment, I leaned toward Yanbing. To tell the truth, I dreamed of kissing you last night. The next second, as expected, Su Yanbing pushed me away. She gave me a cold glare, then swept her cold gaze toward the bystanders. Only then did the crowd begin to disperse. Su Yanbing took out her ringing phone. She answered. It was her assistant, President Su. Marong Yan has already signed with Story. Su Yanbing glanced at me sipping fruit juice on the side. Then gritted her teeth and said, then go poach her for me. I finished a glass of ice juice, feeling refreshed as I looked at Su Yanbing. She was staring at me with a sour expression. I was a bit confused. What could have made her this angry? Is she about to tell me to get lost? I waited for her to speak. Instead, Su Yanbing changed out of the clothes and told me to go pay the bill. After I finished paying, Su Yanbing turned and entered a shoe store. She sat down and stared at me with the tone of a commanding queen. What are you standing there for? Pick some for me. I brought her a pair. How about these? Su Yanbing sneered coldly. You can't tell by just looking. You have to try them on to know. I handed her the shoes. Su Yanbing gave me a cold glance. You do it. Now I understood. When clothes couldn't torture me enough, she moved on to shoes. Truly wicked. I clenched my teeth and squatted beside her with a smile, squeezed her calf, lifted her foot. Su Yanbing glared at me coldly as I helped her into new shoes. How is it? Su Yanbing glanced and said, Not great. I looked around the store, didn't want to serve her anymore. But Su Yanbing wasn't going to let me go. Since I couldn't choose, he made me try every pair one by one. I kept trying them on for her, while cursing her ancestors under my breath. Su Yanbing dealt with to-work messages. In the besties group chat, when Mumu sent a photo, it was of Su Yanbing and me at the mall. A side profile photo where our eyes met. When Mumu also shared a news article. Su Yanbing doesn't like Jiu Haoming. I clicked on the link. That same photo was there, along with other ambiguous pictures. Su Yanbing was one of the people involved. No one knew better than her, but the vibe in the photos created the illusion of romance. Even she was momentarily swayed. The comments section completely bought it. These netizens really know how to twist words. I got completely fooled by the headline. I came to see a joke, and you stuffed dog food in my face. How rude is that? This is what you call not in love. How the hell is that not love? God, come out and say something. Giving them wealth and looks is one thing, but you also gave them love. Why is it that when it comes to me, I have nothing? Which direction do I pray in to get a woman like that? Bro above, I've tried. Dreaming about it works faster. The assistant saw the trending post about President Su and Mr. Jiu. She immediately called to have it taken down. She's worked with President Su for years and knows she hates trending with Mr. Jiu the most, especially when the topic is about them being sweet. Every time it happens, she orders it removed. If it's not taken down quickly, the assistant gets scolded and loses her bonus. At this time, Su Yanbing and I had already returned to the office. The assistant brought over documents for her to sign. She said smugly, President Su, you and Mr. Jiu are trending again. But I reacted fast. I immediately had it taken down. It's no longer on the trending list. Su Yanbing looked at her coldly. The assistant waited but heard no praise. She looked at her again, puzzled. Something felt off. Then Su Yanbing sneered and said, Seems like you've been quite idle lately. In one day, I want to see all the information on the North Suburb project. The assistant was dumbfounded. She could only grab the files and quickly leave. Su Yanbing picked up her phone. Su Yanbing doesn't love Jiu Haoming. It really was gone from the trending list. Meanwhile, after being tortured by Su Yanbing for so long, my urge to bring her down was overwhelming. So I ran straight to Story Group to find Boer. It was blazing hot outside. Once I entered, I flopped into a chair, grabbed a file from the desk to fan myself. Boer glanced at me and turned the air conditioner down a few degrees. Weren't you on a date with Su Yanbing? Why are you here? I thought about the trending post with comments saying Su Yanbing and I were sweet and loving. Even now I still don't get it. She looks at me like I disgust her. How does that get mistaken as love? I looked up at Gur. If I were really dating her, would I have time to come find you? Gur looked at me and asked, could it be that she's falling for you? I shook my head. There's no way she likes me. Gur's eyes flickered slightly. How can you be so sure? I put the file back on the table. I've been circling around her for years. Would I not know who she likes? She's pulling this stunt just to create the illusion of a strong alliance between our two families, so that you'll let your guard down, and she can take the opportunity to bring the Jiu family down. I came to find you, just to warn you to be cautious of her. She's threatening and tormenting me so I won't divorce. That means she's definitely sticking to her original storyline. Take down the Jiu family and leave me with nothing. I have no choice but to be more cautious. Has the company discovered anything suspicious? Gur waved her hand. No, the projects are all fine. I was a bit surprised. If nothing turns up, and I can't stop the female lead schemes, then I'll just have to earn more money. Gur looked at me being overly anxious. She couldn't help but ask, that time travel novel you showed me last time, how does it end? I looked at Gur and said, I don't know either. The author hasn't finished it yet. If you're interested, once the author finishes and sends it to me, I'll let you read it. After saying that, I left the company and drove back to the GU house. In the book, after Sue's group acquired Zifeng Pharmaceuticals, Zifeng's stock kept dropping for several consecutive months. It triggered a long continuous suspension. In less than half a month, the stock value doubled on the market. According to the novel's plot, the acquisition should happen within these few days. But I had no excuse to tell Gur, so I could only buy it myself. When I got home, and Zhang said, my mom had spent the whole afternoon reading gossip online about Su Yanbing and me. She spent all afternoon on it. Her mood instantly became complicated. When she saw me come in, my mom finally put her phone down. She immediately told Aunt Zhang to prepare dinner. She wanted Su Yanbing to come over for dinner tonight. I really didn't want Su Yanbing to eat at our house. She's trying to bring down the GU family. She doesn't deserve to eat our food. But even more, I didn't want to cook for her at her place. So I sent a message to Su Yanbing. My mom wants you to come over for dinner tonight. Su Yanbing replied instantly, no time. I felt totally relieved after reading that. No time means she's probably off explaining the trending news to Lu Jinian, and I don't have to cook for her. Su Yanbing finished her work. She glanced at the time, then checked the message again. That woman just saw the message and replied no time. Looks like she really didn't want to go. She put her phone away and stood up. By the time she arrived at the GU house, it was 5:30. In the past, whenever she came to the GU house, my parents would always subtly lecture her. They'd make her feel constantly threatened. Later, when she didn't have to suffer that pressure anymore, she never came again. As soon as she walked in the door, she saw Gur and me chatting on the sofa. She couldn't hear what we were talking about, but the smile on my face was completely different from the fake one I usually gave her. Gur was peeling a pomegranate. Her eyes were practically glued to me. My mom stepped forward to greet her. Yanbing, you're here. Gur and I turned to look at her. I was stunned for a second. Didn't this woman say she had no time? Gur glanced at Su Yanbing. Gur handed me a plate of pomegranate seeds she had peeled. I casually popped a few into her mouth, which earned me a glare from her. Hold it yourself. I froze for a moment and took it. I thought she peeled them because she wanted to eat them. Turns out she peeled them for me. What man wouldn't fall for a woman like this? Then I looked at Su Yanbing with her cold face. Immediately, I complained, didn't you say you were busy? Su Yanbing ignored Gur. She took the pomegranates from my hand and set them on the coffee table, then turned to me with a smirk. I wanted to give you a surprise. She emphasized the word surprise. And then, as if no one else were there, she wrapped her arm around mine. She leaned close to my ear and whispered, if I'd known I was interrupting your flirting, I wouldn't have come. I glared at her. Don't talk nonsense. Su Yanbing frowned at me. Watch your tone when you talk to me. I was annoyed. If my family weren't here, I would have lunged at her just to disgust her. Really give her a taste of how annoying I can be. My mom saw Su Yanbing arrive, and her eyes lit up with joy. Come eat. Only then did Su Yanbing finally let go of me. It had been a long time since she'd had dinner at our house. My dad had a lot of resentment toward her. He didn't say a word to her at the table. But my mom, for her son's sake, still treated her like a VIP. She smiled and greeted her warmly. Gur silently observed everything. In the past, I used to pile food onto Su Yanbing's plate, endlessly, always giving her the best bites. Over and over again, all the good food went to her. Now I just focused on enjoying my own meal. Su Yanbing couldn't help but glance at me. Seeing that, my mom couldn't help but remind me. Hey Oming, don't just eat by yourself. Take care of Yanbing too. I was speechless. She's already in her 30s. She's not a kid. Does she really need someone to feed her? Though I said that, I still casually added food to Su Yanbing's plate. After serving her, I then gave some to my dad. Then I served some to my mom. And then to Gur. The goal was to keep everything balanced. I love everyone equally. After serving, I got ready to eat, but noticed everyone at the table was staring at me. Why are you all staring at me instead of eating? My dad looked at his son. Finally, it wasn't just all about Su Yanbing. The good food was being served to mom and dad too. They finally broke into a happy smile. After dinner, Su Yanbing said goodbye to everyone and left. I hadn't slept well for 2 days. I took a shower and planned to get a good night's rest. Su Yanbing messaged me. No long captions tonight. Just post the trending photo. Make it visible to everyone. I gritted my teeth and played dumb. What trending photo? Su Yanbing sent me the link directly. I feigned surprise. Do you like me? could it be? Su Yanbing replied instantly. If I don't see it on your moments into minutes, I'll send you to the police station to find out whether I like you or not. Cursing her, I saved the photo and posted it on my moments. I added a caption just to annoy her. Being forced by someone to post this. Wouldn't you say she's madly in love? Soon enough, replies started rolling in. I don't believe she forced you. Unless she posts one on her own too. If she doesn't, I won't believe she loves you. When Mumu directly mentioned Su Yanbing in our bestie group chat, Jiu Haoming said you forced him to post PDA. Is that true or not? What? Can't imagine it. All the other girls chimed in with +1. Su Yanbing had just come out of the shower. She saw the messages and laughed in disbelief. She tossed her phone aside. All of them are blind. There's no love. How is that PDA? The next day, after breakfast, I planned to head over to the agency. But Su Yanbing stopped me. Come with me to the company. I was confused. Why am I going to your company? She glanced at me, always being available to me. I was truly speechless. Even if I don't go to the office, I can still be available anytime. Su Yanbing gave me a warning look. You have 2 minutes. This woman really knows how to torture me. I had no choice but to grab my laptop and follow her to the company. Once we arrived, I took out my phone and planned to let Gur handle the casting of male and female leads. Then my phone rang. Marongyan sent him a message. Brother, I heard you're making a drama. Can I act in it? I was stunned. The one I'm making isn't a traditional TV drama. The entry bar for short films is low, and the requirements are also low. After sending that, I felt Su Yanbing's cold gaze on me. I immediately switched my phone to vibrate. Marongyan replied again. Can I act? I was a bit puzzled. She can act, sure, but having her in it would be such a waste of talent. I have better plans for her. Besides, there's almost no pay for short dramas. The shooting time is tight. The actors are all new and have almost no acting skills. Marongyan kept saying, I know. I still want to act. Didn't you say I'd have full freedom of choice? I felt a bit helpless, realizing she still wants to act. Marongyan smiled. If it's something you believe in, it must be good. I can't miss it. I felt emotional inside. Wasn't she the one saying I had bad taste yesterday? I owe her. I just want to save her. I don't want her to end up like in the book, committing suicide in despair. Right now, what matters most is her happiness. I never intended for her to earn a lot of money for the company, but since she wants it, I agreed. Marongyan playing the female lead already brings a fan base. It will definitely be more popular. As for the male lead, I'll do it myself. That way it will become popular for sure when my parents talk about their son in the future. Something to be proud of too. And by acting, I can kiss all the goddesses in the entertainment industry and see all the goddesses' long legs. I was happily daydreaming while holding my phone when I accidentally met Su Yanbing's cold gaze. I immediately wiped the smile off my face. Su Yanbing glared at me coldly. Go get me a glass of water. The water dispenser was right next to us. I got up and filled a cup of cold water for her. Su Yanbing added, make it hot. I drank the cold water in the disposable cup in one gulp, looked at Su Yanbing and tossed it in the trash, then went to get her a cup of hot water. Su Yanbing said blankly, I don't use disposable cups. I gritted my teeth and asked, where's your cup then? Su Yanbing continued, suddenly I don't feel like drinking water. I looked at her with clenched fists. Su Yanbing sneered coldly. Already losing patience? I forced a smile. I sucked it up, but Su Yanbing still didn't give me a good face. Go downstairs and buy me a coffee. This time, I was smarter. I smiled and asked, what flavor do you want? Su Yanbing paused writing and looked up at me. What flavors are there? I was speechless, but still gave her a flattering smile. I'll go down and check for you. I went downstairs and took a picture of the coffee menu and sent it to her. But Su Yanbing didn't even reply. I bought one of every flavor, charged it to her card and asked the coffee shop staff to deliver them. Su Yanbing got up to head to a meeting. Then she saw me coming up, followed by staff carrying more than 20 cups of coffee. All the flavors are here. I gave her the fakest smile ever. Su Yanbing casually took one and said, clean up the office. The office is already spotless. What is there to clean? I picked up one cup and shared the remaining coffee with the office staff. Then sat down in the CEO's office and opened the stock app. Bought the maximum amount of Zfang pharmaceutical stock. Then continued writing the script. Su Yanbing came back after the meeting. She saw me sitting cross-legged on the sofa. My fingers were flying across the laptop keyboard. Even for someone who uses computers regularly like her, she couldn't type that fast. Su Yanbing muttered to herself. This man couldn't possibly have time to flirt with women. Is it only when she's in a bad mood that she notices? Thinking this, Su Yanbing sat back down at her desk. He leaned back in his chair and looked at me. Coldly said, "Pour me a glass of water." I was in the zone, and she interrupted me. Gritting my teeth, I closed the laptop and walked over, smiling with squinting eyes. But the smile didn't reach my eyes. "Do you want hot water or cold water?" I crouched down. I couldn't help but add, "Or maybe some spit." Su Yanbing's face instantly darkened a few shades. She curled her lips coldly. "Take a guess." I leaned toward her, looking at her seductively. I guess she would step back like last time. But Su Yanbing just looked at me coldly, as if she saw through my unwillingness to really fight her. She wasn't even scared, so I just sat directly on her lap and saw Su Yanbing's body visibly tense up at a rapid pace. Her expression also changed dramatically. She was clearly suppressing something. So, disgusted, it was nauseating. My mood immediately lifted. I added milk to the coffee I just drank. "Want a taste?" Su Yanbing's face turned dark red. "Get off me." I was like a thirsty old scumbag. Only good for bed. I only know how to roll in the sheets. Su Yanbing reached out, about to push me off. Just then, someone opened the office door. The assistant quickly raised some documents to cover their face. I didn't see anything. "Carry on. I'll come back later." Su Yanbing pulled my hands off her and pushed me away from her lap. Before the assistant closed the door, she called out, "Get back here." The assistant slumped their head. "Okay, Mr. Su." Afraid of seeing something I shouldn't, I stood quietly to the side. Su Yanbing held a signing pen. Her cold gaze swept over. "What are you still standing here for?" I glanced at her, deliberately twisting her meaning. "Then I'll go wait for you in bed." Su Yanbing's face, which had just calmed down, immediately turned greenish-black again. The assistant was scared to death. Had she just heard something she shouldn't have? Would she lose her head over it? The assistant secretly glanced at Su Yanbing. She gritted her back teeth. "Don't daydream like this in broad daylight. There's a kitchen in the back. Go cook something and make it smell nice." So I had no choice but to turn and go inside. That's when I realized it wasn't just a kitchen. There was also a living room for video meetings, a lounge, and a restroom. It was clear that Su Yanbing had stayed here quite a bit before. After looking around, I finally opened the fridge. There weren't many ingredients inside. I was about to head out, and saw Lu Jinlian coming in. I quickly stepped back. Lu Jinlian glanced at Su Yanbing. He placed the bag in his hand on the desk. "My mom made this herself after being discharged. She insisted I bring it for you to try." Su Yanbing glanced at it and said, "How is her recovery going?" Lu Jinlian looked at her, her eyes full of restrained affection. "She's recovering well. Her energy is good. She's eating and sleeping well too. When do you have time? She keeps talking about inviting you over for a meal at our home, to thank you again for your help earlier." Su Yanbing nodded. "I'll visit when I get a chance. Do you still have work? If you do, go ahead. If not, stay and have lunch." Lu Jinlian was a bit slow to react. "I've been off these days. Not much going on." The next second, I heard Su Yanbing said coldly, "Did you hear everything clearly while eavesdropping? If you did, then go buy groceries." I was eavesdropping with great interest, but when I heard that, I had to come out. Lu Jinlian turned to look toward the room. When he saw me coming out, his palm instantly clenched. He thought Su Yanbing was taking him out to eat. Just the two of them. He didn't expect that it was to have Jiu Haoming cook for her. That meant Su Yanbing was recognizing him as her husband. I warmly greeted Lu Jinlian. "I'll go buy groceries now. You to take your time chatting." Then I left with my phone in hand. Lu Jinlian licked his lips and looked at Su Yanbing. "You do your work. I'll just go use the restroom." A few minutes later, he sent a message to Su Yanbing. "Just now Liu contacted me. He asked to meet. I'm heading out first. We'll have a meal another time." Meanwhile, I arrived at the supermarket and went on a shopping spree. Su Yanbing asked me to cook for Lu Jinlian. If it were the original host, she would have flipped out. But I'm different. What I'm about is fulfilling others. I can't wait for them to ignite that spark as soon as possible. I bought the groceries and a bunch of snacks I planned to give Lu Jinlian. But when I returned to the office carrying 2 big bags, only Su Yanbing was there. I couldn't help but ask, "Where's Lu Jinlian?" Su Yanbing looked at me. "Did you forget how you treated him before?" I placed one of the bags of snacks on the desk. "I regret how I treated him in the past. I want to treat him well now. These are snacks I bought for him. When he comes back, give them to him." Su Yanbing glanced at the snacks on the table, then looked up at me. She saw sweat still on my forehead, but no trace of falseness or displeasure. Toward Lu Jinlian on my face, she calmly looked away. "He left." Hearing that, my voice trembled and rose. "He left? Why did you let him leave?" Su Yanbing looked at me coldly, wondering to herself why Lu Jinlian left. This man looked upset and even angry. I took a few steps forward and continued. "Did you say something to make him angry? Or was it yesterday's trending topic? Did you fail to explain it to him and he misunderstood? Or did he confess to you and you haven't responded?" I was mentally exhausted. With the slow progress between the male and female leads, when would I ever be free from this? I was tempted to teach them how to date hand in hand. But that damned woman wouldn't listen to me at all. Su Yanbing slammed the pen down on the desk. "My affairs are none of your business. Go cook now." I was furious, looking at how calm she was. I had no choice but to grit my teeth and carry the groceries to the kitchen. The male lead had already confessed, and this damned Su Yanbing should have already been planning for divorce by now. But clearly, she had no such intention. She was so composed. She even suddenly got me on the trending list with her at the office, making everyone think our relationship had improved. Seems like she's really determined to destroy the Jiu family. She has the protagonist halo. Warner can't find a single clue on her side. So, maybe I should try breaking through from her side. I cooked 3 dishes and politely invited Su Yanbing to eat, glancing casually at the documents on her desk. In the afternoon, while Su Yanbing was in a meeting, I started secretly going through the papers on her desk. After flipping through, they were all routine reports and approvals. While Su Yanbing was still away, I continued writing my script. The next day, Su Yanbing asked me to follow her to the company again. The only thing that made me happy was that around 10 a.m., I saw news that Sushi was acquiring Zifeng Pharmaceuticals. I opened my stock account to check. Trading was suspended. Nice. I successfully bought in at 7 yuan per share. Even though I didn't find any useful info in her office, I used Su Yanbing's money to treat the office staff to milk tea and desserts. Building relationships, I recorded a video while praising the staff enthusiastically. Work needs a balance of effort and rest. You are all my wife's best team members. The company's growth owes a lot to you. This is just a little token of my appreciation. Don't be shy. The original host never even looked at them in the office. Usually, if I made a fuss and they so much as looked at me, she'd scold them harshly. Now I was bringing them food with a friendly face. No one dared say anything out of line. They had no choice but to politely accept. I took the initiative to chat and got closer to a female employee. "You're so pretty. Got a boyfriend? If not, I'll introduce you to someone someday." Everyone suddenly jumped in. "She already has Mr. Jiu." "I don't have Mr. Jiu. I'm single too." If Mr. Gu's recommending someone, the guy must be great. Su Yanbing came back from outside and saw me sitting on a woman's desk, chatting animatedly with everyone. Can't go flirt with women outside. So, doing it right in her company now. Su Yanbing spoke coldly, asking the assistant who followed her, "Does the office staff always have this much free time?" The assistant tapped the door frame with the file. "Have you all finished your work?" I turned around and saw Su Yanbing staring coldly at me. I smiled and waved to everyone, then followed Su Yanbing back to the office. Su Yanbing sat in her chair, looking at me coldly. "Should I assign you a position in the CEO's office?" I glanced at her, thinking, I wouldn't mind that. But this Su Yanbing clearly was being passive-aggressive with that sarcastic tone. I smiled and said, "I'll listen to whatever wifey says. I'm just a brick at your side. Tell me where to move, and I'll move." Su Yanbing sneered, "I want dumplings for lunch. Handmade from scratch." I smiled through clenched teeth. "Want to eat me instead? I'm all natural." Su Yanbing glared at me with her beautiful eyes. "Then throw yourself into the pot and boil yourself." I nodded and said, "Okay. Not only do I have to make dumplings, they have to be handmade too. But now I'm being threatened. If I anger her, there will be consequences. Su Yanbing just doesn't want me to have it easy. Before going out in the afternoon, she even warned me, behave yourself and stay in the office. If I catch you bothering others at work again, I'll make sure. For several days in a row, Su Yanbing made me come to the company. I was only allowed in his office. I couldn't go anywhere else. I had to handle everything via phone communication. Luckily, Su Yanbing was very busy, so she didn't have much time to torment me. I managed to replicate to more scripts, but the short dramas were about to start filming, and the male lead me was being forced to come to the company by Su Yanbing every day. I couldn't go anywhere. I started to panic. In the afternoon, I sat on the sofa, watching Su Yanbing handle work, thinking about how to make her not want to see me. She clearly hates me, yet she still brings me to the office every day to torment me. This is literally hurting herself just to hurt the enemy. Should I hit her with something drastic? Su Yanbing casually looked up, only to see me staring at her. She sneered and exhaled. Up to your schemes again? Do you even have enough brain cells for that? Want me to lend you some? I was speechless. Just then, Su Yanbing's phone rang. She picked it up and answered. It was her mom calling. Sister Lee and her family are back today. Bring Haeoming home for dinner tonight. Su Yanbing. She always hated bringing me back to her parents' house for dinner. In their eyes, I'm the Jiu family's only son. Marrying me was a jackpot. Every time we went back, everyone would remind her in her ear to treat Jiu Haeoming better. They didn't care whether she liked me or not. She ended the call. Su Yanbing glanced at me and said, "Come to my house for dinner tonight." Hearing that I could go to her house for dinner felt like a blessing from heaven. My eyes lit up instantly. I stood up. I was full of enthusiasm to head out. I'm going to buy a gift. Su Yanbing looked at me and said, "No need. Just sit here quietly." Going to Su Yanbing's parents' home was the original host's happiest moment, because Uncle Su was very satisfied with the son-in-law. At home, she was treated like family. Every time we went back, the original host would go to the office early, then wait for her to get off work, just to be able to hold her arm when entering the house. For those brief moments of closeness, when she wouldn't push her away. That was also the time Su Yanbing hated her the most. Tonight I plan to disgust her to death. Make her so sick she's afraid of me, so she never wants to see me again. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Finally, time for revenge. Let's see how I'll torment her tonight. The car stopped at the Su family's old house. I got out and immediately reached to hold Su Yanbing's hand. 10 fingers interlaced, skin to skin. That kind of intimacy is truly unbearable. Sure enough, the moment I held her hand, her fingers stiffened. Su Yanbing tried to pull her hand away, but I held on even tighter. While holding her hand, I leaned in and whispered, "I don't want to either, but your mom is watching." Uncle Su came to greet us and saw our hands linked together. Her smile grew even wider. I took the opportunity to wrap my arm around Su Yanbing's waist. "Mom, we came back in a hurry today. We didn't have time to buy you any gifts." With our bodies closed through thin clothing, I could clearly feel the warmth of Su Yanbing's skin. Her body was tense. I felt her disgust and deliberately held her tighter. Gotta admit, this woman's figure is quite something. Seeing us so close, Uncle Su was grinning from ear to ear. "There's nothing lacking at home. Your good relationship is the best gift to us." Although I used to come back with bags full, the news was always that you two weren't getting along. "Hurry inside. We've been waiting for you." Sumu didn't want to interrupt your couple time. She rushed in to share the good news. Su Yanbing turned around and gave me a cold glare. "Had enough hugging?" I used to cling to him too, but I had the burden of being a rich young master. I wouldn't act so shamelessly. At most, I just gaze at Su Yanbing full of affection. But now, I look at her like I'm starving for her. Yet there's not a shred of emotion in my eyes. Like a playboy drifting through fields of flowers, not a single petal sticking to her. I played with her slender fingers, while imitating flirtation. "Even if I took advantage of you, I didn't do it for nothing. Look how happy your mom just was." Su Yanbing gave a cold snort and walked inside with her long legs. "Dinner is ready. Once inside, take your seat." Naturally, I sat next to Su Yanbing. I sneaked a glance at the dishes on the table, and the more I looked, the better I felt. Sumu has always treated the original host well. She immediately moved the good food in front of me. "Haeoming, try this authentic Yangchang Lake herring crab." I didn't hold back and placed one in front of Su Yanbing. Wife, help me shell it. You always shell it for me. As soon as I said that, everyone at the table looked over. Su Yanbing's face instantly turned cold. I'll shell it for you. Or how about not eating at all? Wait for me to feed you. Su Mu immediately scolded her. Yanbing, what kind of tone is that? Hailmin is your husband. What's wrong with peeling a crab for him? I took the hairy crab back while speaking. If you don't want to shell it, forget it. It's fine if I don't eat it. Sumu gave Su Yanbing a warning look. Hailmin, where are you putting it? Su Yanbing gave me a deep look. In the end, she started shelling the crab for me. I ate while praising it, saying it was delicious. Sumu moved the hairy crabs back in front of us. If it's good, eat more. Yanbing, shell another one for Hailmin. I looked and saw a bit of provocation in Su Yanbing's eyes. Wife, I want to eat another one. Su Yanbing glanced at me, pulled a corner of her mouth, and shelled another one. During the whole meal, I did everything to disgust her. After dinner, Sumu saw how close we were, and happily pulled us over to the sofa for a chat. Hailmin, Yanbing, you've been married for 2 years now. Isn't it time for a child? I sneered inwardly. She doesn't even let me touch her. How's she supposed to have a baby? On the surface, I shamelessly grabbed Su Yanbing's hand. Mom, just one isn't enough. We've already discussed it. We're going to make a whole soccer team. Su Yanbing gritted her teeth, smiling as she leaned into my arms. Mom, it's getting late. We're heading back now. We'll work hard so you can hold your grandson soon. After saying that, Su Yanbing pulled me up and left. I realized this woman had reached her limit. I was in a great mood. As we stepped out of the hall, I continued to stoke the fire, eagerly trying to get intimate with her. Do you really mean it? Su Yanbing's expression turned stormy and intense. It felt like a storm was about to hit. I braced myself to be pushed away by her. But instead, the woman curled her lips. Since you want it so badly, fine. Su Yanbing directly kissed me on the lips. Biting, annoying, rough and wild like a raging storm. I stared in disbelief, eyes wide open. My head was buzzing loudly. Wasn't she disgusted? Wasn't she supposed to have had enough? What's going on here? I instinctively tried to push her away, which earned me a glare from the woman. Didn't you want to have a soccer team? You won't even let me kiss you. Seeing my utterly confused expression, Su Yanbing smirked and said, What's wrong? Don't tell me you can't perform. My lips were bitten and bleeding. The taste of blood brought me back to my senses. I forced myself to calm down. Su Yanbing is disgusted and allergic to me. She's hurting herself just to hurt me. Thinking that, I folded my arms. She really thought I wouldn't dare. Thought I was just bluffing? It's just that I didn't expect you to agree. It was too surprising, too unexpected. I responded to Su Yanbing's kiss, a bit roughly. I yanked her shirt out and slid my hand underneath. I even muttered, I've waited too long for this moment. Su Yanbing's body turned rigid. Just as I was about to move higher, Su Yanbing grabbed my wrist and pushed me away hard. Her face was extremely unpleasant. The emotions in her eyes were like erupting lava. Did you really think I'd let you off easy? With that, Su Yanbing turned and left. She walked quickly, carrying a chill with her. I watched her drive off alone, leaving me behind. I couldn't help but laugh. Looks like I won. This woman was thoroughly disgusted. Su Yanbing went to a bar. She poured a drink and downed it in one gulp, then immediately poured another. A few people curiously gathered around. Han Mumu teased, Yanbing, didn't get any booze at home? Lin Xinyao immediately noticed something was off. Her clothes were messy. Her lipstick was all smudged. Doesn't look like a booze issue. Looks more like she couldn't satisfy Jiu Hailmin. Su Yanbing, who had escaped from the bed, swept a cold gaze over them all. Get lost. Lin Xinyao kept asking for trouble. Looks like I hit the mark. When Mumu was just about to add another jab, but before she could speak, Su Yanbing threw a bottle of liquor. The bottle shattered into pieces. In an instant, the private room fell silent. Su Yanbing stared coldly at them. Listen carefully, all of you. I don't like Jiu Hailmin. Stop mentioning him. That would only bring him shame. He's the man I hate the most. All I want is revenge. How could I possibly fall for him? The three of them looked at Su Yanbing, then glanced at each other, and quietly walked away. I was driven back by the Su family driver. I found that Su Yanbing hadn't come home. So I took a shower and went to sleep. The next morning, I picked up my phone. There was no message from Su Yanbing. Only a message from Marong Yan a few minutes ago. Brother, filming starts tomorrow. When will you come to the set? I thought for a moment. Today we start filming again, and I'm still the male lead. Just thinking about it made me feel excited. The car stopped at the hotel entrance. I got out of the car. Brother Haomi Marong Yan seemed to have been waiting for me. She ran over immediately and saw the trunk open. Right away, she stepped up to help. Let me do it. So I didn't stand on ceremony. As we walked, I asked, "Did you finish reading the script?" Marong Yan nodded while pulling her suitcase behind me. Yes, this is the first time I've seen a script like this. I really like it. I shook my head and laughed. Isn't it just another cheesy love story? Marong Yan looked at me. Although it's a love story too. This one's about reliving a different life. That makes it very special. Brother Haomi, if life could really start over, would you still choose to marry Su Yambing? I smiled at her. If life could really start over, I definitely wouldn't give up a whole forest for just one tree. Marong Yan gave me a look. Looks like Brother Haomi has some regrets. I saw Marong Yan spaced out, so I spoke up. Who hasn't had regrets in their life? Regret itself isn't scary. What's scary is drowning in it endlessly. Forgetting there's a better version of yourself ahead that's scary. Marong Yan looked at me, feeling like I had a light about me, completely different from the rumors. Talking to me felt easy. Before we knew it, we were at the door to our rooms. I returned to my room and tidied up. It was almost noon. Thinking that Marong Yan had depression, I invited her to lunch. I planned to look after her more during filming. Even for meals, I'd ask her along. The next day, we also went to the set together. We instantly caught everyone's attention. Jiu Haomi came with Marong Yan. He's really here to act, huh? Act? I think he just has a thing for Marong Yan. Self-funded and self-cast, using the film as an excuse to get close to him. I heard there are lots of kiss scenes. The power of money. If I had money, I'd do the same. I didn't care about people pointing and whispering about me. Once the launch ceremony ended, we began makeup and filming. I started working at 18. Sold alcohol at bars, delivered food, worked in sales, and even did background acting. Plus, I've seen plenty of dramas. I knew the lines like the back of my hand. During filming, I'd occasionally offer advice to my scene partners. I had the most scenes opposite Marong Yan. As an experienced actor, she was surprised to see how skilled I was for a newcomer. Not nervous at all. During breaks, she looked at me with growing curiosity. Seeing me fanning myself with the script, she handed me her mini electric fan. Here, brother, use this. I didn't hesitate, took it, and cooled my flushed face. I'm going to buy one too when I get back. Marong Yan looked at me. Her eyes sparkled like stars. This one's for you. Brother Haomi. I have another one anyway. Brother Haomi, you're nothing like the rumors. That's why you shouldn't believe in rumors. I finished blowing the fan at myself, then turned it toward Marong Yan's face. Aren't you hot? Marong Yan acted like nothing was wrong. I'd gotten used to her being like this. Meanwhile, in the CEO office of the Su Corporation, Su Yambing finished work, leaned back in her chair, rubbed her temples, and said, "Pour me a glass of water." There was no response. He instinctively looked up, only to realize I wasn't there. My face suddenly appeared in her mind again. Along with the softness of my lips last night, her phone rang. It was a photo. In it, I was holding a mini fan, fanning Marong Yan. A happy smile spread across my face. Marong Yan looked at me with shining eyes, her face tinged with shy delight. Jiu Haomi, a sensitive male and female lead. How's the chemistry? Su Yambing replied coldly, nothing special, then tossed her phone aside. Ignoring it, she opened her laptop and got back to work. The first day of filming went very smoothly. By the time we wrapped, it was already 8 p.m. The director gave us marketing photos. A Weibo post by Marong Yan quickly went viral. The comment section was full of people hating on me. That Jiu Haomi, who only ever circles around Su Yambing, is actually filming now. If young Master Jiu can act, then I should be winning an Oscar. Always taking advantage of our goddess Marong. Does money really let you do whatever you want? When Mumu shared the trending post in a small group chat. Did the sun rise in the west? Jiu Haomi actually went to film something. Lin Xinyao chimed in, impressive. Acting alongside a female star. How romantic. Could it be that he's tired of Yanbing? And now chasing after this woman? Su Yanbing threw her phone aside. Was she really checking up on Jiu Haoming? Are you all crazy or what? Gur saw the trending topic and immediately video called me. You're filming and didn't even tell me in advance? Gur looked at me through the screen, and I could sense she was faintly upset. I casually made up an excuse. I just wanted to surprise you. Gur looked at me calmly. I don't want that kind of surprise. I smiled at her, a bit playfully. Then what do you want? Once I make money, I'll buy it for you. Hearing that, Gur visibly lit up with joy. I want to spend all your money. We chatted for a bit longer. Then I hung up and went to sleep. I didn't even bother with the trending news the informant sent me. Meanwhile, seeing the online hate toward me, Marang Yin couldn't help but step in on her fan page. To clarify the situation, I was the one who asked to take this role, because the script is really good. Mr. Haoming is very kind, and a great actor too. Please trust me, everyone, and look forward to the drama. Marang Yan's proactive clarification only made fans more suspicious. She was pressured so much that she had to post the old chat logs where she had asked me for the role. The next morning, I called Marang Yan to eat. I was startled by her heavy dark circles. What did you do last night? Couldn't sleep? Marang Yan looked at me and noticed how energized I was, completely unaffected by the online chaos. She touched her head. No. Just stayed up too late on my phone. As we walked, I glanced at her. Aren't you tired after filming all day? Still have energy for your phone? While eating breakfast, I finally opened my phone to check the news and saw Marang Yan's replies from the night before. Everyone was suspicious of her, saying the chat logs she posted were photoshopped, that her Weibo was controlled by the company. Even if she went live, the fans also thought she was forced by the company to say that. The more she spoke up for me, the more dissatisfied the fans became with me. Marang Yan lowered her head and softly reminded Brother Haoming, you'd better stop looking at your phone. I put down the phone and looked at her. You stayed up late just to clarify things for me. Marang Yan looked a bit embarrassed at me. I didn't expect it would only make things worse. I thought they would wake up after hearing what I said. I didn't expect this outcome. I looked at her, squatted down, and continued. I'm really happy that you spoke up for me like that. But please don't do it again. I really don't care what they say about me. Your well-being matters much more to me than all that. A smile instantly appeared in Marang Yan's eyes. I promise it won't affect the filming. After eating, we went to the set and started another intense day of filming. Marang Yan and I filmed another emotional jealousy scene. Suddenly, a luxury car pulled up nearby. Jiu got off the car carrying bags. She opened the door for Mom, holding up a sun umbrella. Then she instructed the assistant to bring desserts and drinks to the shooting location. Mom hurried her steps, clearly impatient. It's so hot, and there's no air conditioning. How could Haoming bear it? He's never suffered like this since he was little. Jiu followed Mom's pace unhurriedly. Haoming's not stupid. If he felt it was too hard, he'd have run off before anyone else. Since he didn't, it means he doesn't think it's that bad. Jiu's eyes were already searching for me. Then she saw me holding Marang Yan's arm, pulling her into my embrace. Then our eyes met. Jiu's grip on the bag tightened. Marang Yan and I finished the scene. The director called for a break. That's when I saw Mom and Jiu. I quickly waved and asked, why are you here? The assistant had already set up a table and opened up the sun umbrella. Snacks were laid out on the table. As soon as I walked over, Mom handed me a cold drink. She said with concern, it's your first time filming. We were worried and came to check on you. I sat down on a chair. I'm not a 3-year-old child. What's there to worry about? I glanced at Jiu. Why did you come join in the fun too? Isn't your company busy? Jiu looked at me, all energetic and happy. It's your first time filming. No matter how busy I am, I had to come see you. After a few sips of the cold drink, I felt completely refreshed. Then I noticed Marang Yan glancing at me from a distance. She looked so lonely over there, like an abandoned kitten. I didn't need to think to know. He must have been envious of the care I got from my family. I waved to him. Zhao Yan saw me wave, and only then did Marang Yan walk over. This is Marang Yan, an artist from our company. This is my mom. And this is Ji-Yua, vice president of Boo Group. I introduced them to each other, then handed her a drink and invited her to sit. Hello, Annie. Hello, President Ji-Yu. Marong-yin started chatting with my mom. I picked up some washed strawberries and began eating. They tasted great, so I pushed them toward Marong-yin. They're quite sweet. Try one. Marong-yin obediently picked one up. Ji-Yua stood to the side, silently glancing at Marong-yin. It was me who first took her hand. Now I'm pulling her into this short drama again and treating Marong-yin so nicely. Ji-Yua had read the script too. There were quite a few emotional scenes. I could feel Ji-Yua's gaze. So I picked up the box of strawberries and handed it to her. Ji-Yua just looked down at me without reaching out, so I grabbed one and stuffed it in her mouth. Ji-Yua froze, staring at me. I immediately popped another one into my own mouth, acting like nothing happened. Alright, you've seen enough now. You should head back. Su Group is acquiring Zifeng Pharmaceuticals. The signing press conference ended. As soon as Su Yanbing got into the car, her phone rang. When she opened it, it was a photo. Next to his small casual table, I was feeding a strawberry into Ji-Yua's mouth. Both Ji-Yua and Marong-yin were looking at me. Does this have a romantic vibe? Su Yanbing stared at the photo, puzzled. She looked at it for a long time. Then she texted me, "Come back immediately." It wasn't until lunchtime that I saw the message Su Yanbing sent me. I didn't expect this woman to come after me so quickly. I could only stall and reply that I was currently filming. I'll come back after filming ends. Then I'll let you torture me, how about that? Su Yanbing frowned. Do you think you have any bargaining chips with me? I smiled. Of course I do. I have recordings of you confessing to me over the years. If you send me to prison, I'll release the recordings to the public. This was a tactic I came up with in my spare time during filming over the past few days. Even though it's just a few sentences, I've read the book. I know some specific things about their relationship. If I post them online and guide the narrative a bit, the impact won't be small either. Su Yanbing didn't reply to my message. I instantly felt great. I even had an extra bowl of rice. But my happiness didn't last long. During the last scene in the afternoon, I saw Su Yanbing at the set. Su Yanbing was staring coldly at me through the crowd, like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. The moment I saw her, I froze. I wasn't even home. Such a perfect opportunity. Why isn't she using it to bond with the male lead? Why come looking for me? Because I was distracted seeing Su Yanbing arrive. I had my first NG bad take since filming began. Marong-yin followed my gaze and also saw Su Yanbing. She looked at me and realized there wasn't a trace of joy in my eyes. Like when I see someone I like. She knew the whole world was laughing at Boo Haeoming for being clingy. Someone who doesn't love her. The whole world says Su Yanbing doesn't like me. If Su Yanbing didn't like me, why would she show up here? And the way Su Yanbing looked at Brother Haeoming, it looked a lot like jealousy. And soon I said, "Sorry, director. Let's do that again. Let's go for another take." This was a scene where the male lead, out of jealousy, tries to forcefully kiss the female lead. The female lead slaps him to remind him they're already divorced. I quickly got back into character, but I noticed something was off with Marong-yin. I gradually closed the distance between us. Our waists were almost touching. At such a close distance, I lost control and leaned in to kiss Marong-yin. Marong-yin should have pushed me away, but she didn't push at all. Cut, the director quickly shouted. Marong-yin, what's going on? You were supposed to push him away. Push him and slap him, not just stand there and wait for the kiss. Marong-yin lowered her head and apologized. Sorry, director. I looked down at Marong-yin. What's going on with you? Did you forget the rest of the scene? Marong-yin withdrew, sneaking a glance at Su Yanbing. Sorry. I'll do it right. The director said, all right, let's do it again. But before I could even go in for the kiss, I was pulled away. Su Yanbing pinned me to a corner outside the set. When I looked up, I saw Su Yanbing's gloomy face. She warned me sternly, if you dare to film a kissing scene, I'll send you to prison. I looked at her, my gaze falling on Su Yanbing's lips. I kissed you. And now you won't let me kiss anyone else. Are you jealous? Su Yanbing's expression instantly changed. Jealous of you? Ridiculous. I just don't want to see you getting what you want. The more you want it, the more I'll make sure you don't get it. I lifted Su Yanbing's chin playfully. What do I want? What I want most is you. Ever since that one little taste last time, I've been feeling restless every night. Had several erotic dreams. I got a taste of sweetness. And now I want to disgust her even more. Make her stay away for at least 10 days, maybe half a month. Su Yan. There were sparks flying from Su Yanbing's cold eyes. But she didn't explode. Looks like she's built up some resistance. To my level of disgust, I ignored Su Yanbing's expression completely and leaned in close to her ear. You're already here. Tonight, why not let me experience what it feels like to have a dream come true? Su Yanbing glanced toward Marangyan nearby, then smiled and coldly spat out, sure. Then she pulled me over to Marangyan's side. She looked at her lightly and asked, got time? I'd like to treat you to a meal, to thank you for speaking up for my husband online last night. Marangyan glanced at me and said playfully, if President Su is treating, I'll make time even if I don't have it. Looks like President Su isn't quite like the rumors. Su Yanbing pulled me close into her arms. You just don't know me. It was at that moment that I finally began to understand why Su Yanbing came. She thought I was into Marangyan. So, she came to ruin it. But isn't Su Yanbing sacrificing a bit too much? Leaning into my arms on such a hot day. She might tolerate disgust, but I can't take the heat. I looked at the two people locking eyes. If you've got something to say, can you say it somewhere with air conditioning? I ignored their stares and pushed Su Yanbing away to go change clothes. Half an hour later, in a private room at the hotel restaurant, I sat in the AC and ordered several of my favorite dishes. Then glanced at the woman sitting across from me. I asked, why aren't you two talking? Marangyan looked at Su Yanbing, then glanced at the ice cream in my hand. Brother Haoming, is that tasty? You want some? I looked at her and waved over the waiter. Get her an ice cream too. Marangyan smiled and glanced at Su Yanbing. That look was full of provocation. Thanks, Haoming. Su Yanbing glanced at her, then looked at me and gave a cold snort. I glanced at Su Yanbing, who was staring at me. You want one too? Just as I was about to ask the waiter to bring her one, she took my ice cream from my hand. Su Yanbing used the spoon I had used and took a bite under Marangyan's gaze. I watched helplessly as Su Yanbing ate the ice cream I had already eaten from. Has this crazy woman lost her mind? What happened to her obsession with hygiene? Marangyan looked at Su Yanbing. Looks like the rumor that President Su doesn't like Brother Haoming isn't true. But the rumor that Brother Haoming only has eyes for President Su might not be true either. Su Yanbing gave me a half smile and asked, oh really? Who else do you see besides me? Marangyan chuckled. What I meant was, Brother Haoming has eyes for all things in the world. President Su, are you nervous that Brother Haoming might start looking at other women? Their eyes met. Marangyan looked at Su Yanbing with a faint smile on her lips. Su Yanbing curled her lips slightly, smiling with hidden meaning. I got up and poured them each a glass of water. Both of them turned to look at me. If you're thirsty, drink some water and keep talking. I'm going to the restroom. After I left, Su Yanbing calmly looked at the woman across from her. She toyed with the ice cream cup in her fingers. Sushi. Baika's offer was more than 50% higher than Gushi's, but you still chose to sign with Gushi, and even lowered your value to film with Jiu Haoming. What exactly are you after? Marangyan looked at Su Yanbing with that perfectly measured smile still on her face. Lowered my value? Jiu Haoming is the eldest young master of the Jiu family. After all, the son-in-law of the Su family. Any one of his titles alone is already out of my reach. How could acting alongside him mean lowering my value? Or does President Su also think her husband is as disgraceful as everyone says? If that's the case, why not just let go? I came out of the restroom, and the dishes were already served. Seeing the tension between them, almost explosive, I just started eating on my own, completely ignoring their nonsense. After a few bites, I noticed neither of them had touched their chopsticks. I couldn't help asking, aren't you too hungry? Su Yanbing glanced at me twice. Then she called the waiter and ordered a bottle of red wine. Marangyan also picked up a wine glass. I'll have a drink with President Su. I quickly stopped Marangyan. You better not drink. We still have filming tomorrow. Su Yanbing gave me a flat glance. There might not be filming tomorrow. I caught the threat in Su Yanbing's tone. Compared to the recordings I had, her video evidence that could land me in prison was obviously more powerful. She must have already figured out how to counter my threats. I clenched my teeth, served her more food, poured wine, and handed her tissues. Honey, I know you can't bear to see me suffer. You don't want me working and filming. I'll just do it for 2 months. Su Yanbing just wanted to see me acting all sweet in front of Marong Yan. To make Marong Yan think we're close. To make sure I can't get Marong Yan. So, I had to go along with it. Marong Yan looked at me, then at Su Yanbing. She didn't say anything, but the way she looked at me had changed. There was something more in her eyes.